pass at this point. A stopgap is needed by month's end to avoid a partial government shutdown. The current proposal facing some criticism in part over an attached Republican proposal to require proof of citizenship to vote in federal elections. At a House hearing on election integrity, secretaries of state from both parties addressing concerns about securing the ballot box.
Ohio Republican Secretary of State Frank LaRose tells the House Administration Committee his state has had to remove non-citizens from voter rolls.
We have found in just the last year alone, nearly 600 non-citizens registered to vote. We have removed them from the voter rolls and, yes, referred them for prosecution.
Other issues include alleged threats towards officials over false information, the effect of inclement weather on voter turnout, and the need to educate voters about requirements and registration.
Fox's Ryan Smrell's on the Hill. State and local election officials also warning the head of the Postal Service in a letter that problems with the mail could disrupt voting and that persistent deficiencies have not been fixed, including ballots postmarked on time received after the deadline to be counted. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
We continue to go through our hottest day of the week. Now, it's nothing extreme, but 92 will do it for the high with some hazy, sunny skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, upper 80s this evening, 66 for the low. On Thursday, a mix of clouds and sunshine, though more and more clouds taking over, 84. Then tropical showers and possible thunderstorms Thursday night and throughout the day on Friday, 74 on Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
Hey, St. Louis, are you in search of top-notch cybersecurity solutions? Look no further. ThrottleNet is here to help. Ransomware attacks are on the rise, putting businesses like yours at risk. Don't let cyber criminals jeopardize your hard-earned success. ThrottleNet provides comprehensive cybersecurity services tailored specifically to your unique needs. Our award-winning customer service provides 24/7 protection to keep your data safe and secure. Take charge of your digital security today. Protect your business, protect your future. ThrottleNet.com, your reliable partner in cybersecurity.
If you've been dragging your feet waiting for the perfect opportunity to consolidate your debt, start an overdue home remodel, refinance to a shorter term, or get rid of that dreaded PMI, then now is the time to give me, Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage, a call at 314-336-6050. Interest rates have come down and home values are up. I'm here in St. Louis, and when you call, you will speak to me. Whether you are purchasing your first home, your dream home, or needing to refinance your current home, call a local lender. Call Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage. I will give you straightforward answers and develop a plan that fits your goals. My direct number is 314-336-6050. 314-336-6050 or online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage, LLC, 224143, NMLS 250353.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Dell Technologies and Intel are pushing what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I want you all to know that America today is on bended knee in prayer for the people whose lives were lost here, for the workers who work here, for the families who mourn. This nation stands with the good people of New York City and New Jersey and Connecticut as we mourn the loss of thousands of our citizens. I can hear you. I can hear you. The rest of the world hears you. And the people who knock these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
Well, it's a Wednesday afternoon here in St. Louis, and I can't help but notice it just feels year after year after year on September 11th that the day looks just like today, that the sky is blue, and it just feels like one of those perfect days, which is what was one of the most eerie things I think about September 11th of 2001. 23 years ago. It's pretty amazing to think that we are 23 years removed from that day. I was talking to my husband about it, and he is a middle school history teacher, and he made the comment, he's like, he prefaced it with, as an educator, it's very frustrating that as a history teacher, as somebody who's teaching American history and American government, it's very frustrating that the debate is on September 10th and September 11th, especially in the classroom. There's an absolute obligation to reflect, but at this point, it really is a day to educate about what happened on September 11th. I think it's an interesting place to be because there are a lot of people of formative ages. When you're talking about September 11th being 23 years ago, we talk about remembering. Our poll today on the Annie Fry YouTube channel is, do you do something intentional to remember September 11th, 2001? Do you look at your clock here when it was about, 7:46 a.m., I think is off the top of my head, when one of the planes hit? There's those timestamps that walk you through the day that pull you back into that moment and quickly make you remember what you were feeling, which was fear. We were feeling the reality of fear in a way that we don't traditionally feel real fear. And going back to what my husband said, he's, as an educator, it was a frustrating bummer for him that he was going to have to figure out how in his classroom you got 45, 50 minutes with these kids. Like, how do you do September 11th and debate reaction? And, for every teacher in a classroom today making that decision, I know that a lot of them might be torn one way or the other in a history classroom, but you just can't skip over September 11th. You can't miss that moment to talk about what it is that we are facing as a nation 23 years after what we remember. We are now into oral history education with generations of people who don't remember. Have you forgotten? Well, you can't forget something that you didn't see for yourself. You can learn it. You can embrace it. You can study it. And, I think that's one of the things about September 11th for me. I can listen to George W. Bush say, "I can hear you." And that still feels a certain way for me. There's a lot of context that happens in 23 years surrounding the man standing on the rubble with the bullhorn next to the firefighters that can pull us away from the feeling of that moment. And I think, here in my little classroom that we have, not certainly in my husband's, I have no idea what he's going to do in his classroom, but in my classroom, I don't have to shy away from the politics of the moment today. It's actually, I feel, a responsibility of mine to talk about what took place last night as the United States still stands strong, but maybe not as strong as you and I might like it to be. 23 years after we feared the actual safety and security in our home, on our homeland that was attacked that day in multiple places. I have a newfound reflection, a newfound understanding of what took place on September 11th, because this year I was able to, in May with my son's 8th grade class, and then I went back on July 4th to Washington, D.C. So I was able to walk through the Pentagon Memorial, the 9/11 Memorial there. And you can see, there's simple things that make the reality of the day that we watched on our television screens and we saw in the clear blue skies here, even in St. Louis, Missouri, an airplaneless, crystal clear blue sky. And you just kept looking up. And my recollection, maybe this was yours, but I remember looking up and thinking, like, it's so weird not to see any planes, but then also looking up just in case I saw a plane. And had I seen a plane in the middle of the day on September 11th, after the 3 locations had been attacked, I think that plane would have been a frightening thing to see. And then when the plane started flying again, once air travel got back up and moving, you just looked at the sky differently. To wake up and look at the sky differently. We have lived through something like that, and we're raising a generation who is going to rely on us to talk about that event and the impact that it had on our life. Now, where do the politics come in? Last night, we saw 2 people fighting, playing tug of war over where our republic goes next. I think about what took place in September 11th. I think about when we hear about Russia collusion and all of these outward interferences in what's going on in our homeland. And there's just something about the United States that is perpetually under attack, and it needs to be perpetually defended. Sometimes it feels like those attacks are coming from within. Definitely, it regularly feels like if we let our guard down, those attacks will come from outside and work their way in. And we have to have our guard up. And you got to ask yourself a question. Like, if you are going to feel like you need to be on a constant defense, you do have to pause and ask yourself what you're defending. And when I think about raising my kids, and they'll talk about it at school, one of the reasons why I'm so glad that they are able to be raised in Lutheran schools is because I have no question about how this topic is going to be handled in the classroom. None whatsoever. But they're going to come home and they're going to ask me, they do every year, and they get this sense of emotion about it that I know has been gleaned from somewhere else. It's not a first-person experience like it is for you and me. I was 17, I was a senior in high school when this was going down, and every time I talk about my presence as a 17-year-old, I was as old as you could be as a child and as young as you could be as an adult, which is a very, as you recall, confusing place to be. You've got all these ideas and all of this independence oozing out of your body, and it's like the dog that catches the car. Once you get this independence, you're kind of like looking around going, is somebody going to help me out here? Am I really on my own? You know, you're pushing for it, and then you get there and you're like, oh man, it was maybe a little more comfortable on the other side of that line. And September 11th, for me, for my classmates, for so many of my peers who graduated high school that year and then decided to join the service in what was wartime. Yeah, they happen to be millennials. And I think that they've kind of stuck the landing on how they've managed themselves over the course of the last 20 years. But we all walked away from that day into September 12th, which a lot of people talk about September 12th, like the unifying day that was September 12th. You saw red, white, and blue. There wasn't red. There wasn't blue. It was all of a sudden like, I don't got time for that. The thing that unites us in the United States of America is our ability to have differences and still be on the same side. There is not a cultural place on the face of earth that is like America is in that regard. Think about how much American history is. American history, in the course of time that we have recorded history, American history basically starts yesterday. It's so fresh. It's so new. We are still such a young nation. Talk about European history. Talk about the history of the Middle East. It's biblical. Talk about Russian history and Eastern history. And you think about how much we know about dynasties and empires and how all of this over the course of millennia has come to be where we are in 2024. The culture of those countries is forever. And that is something that if you're from those places, that is part of you. You respect that history. You understand it. You know the highs. You know the lows. You get it. But Americans don't have what other nations have. And in such a modern way, we get to constantly remake what our modern history is. And when I think back on September 11th, I think about a really, really, truly unifying understanding that when the rubber meets the road, there's really only one thing that matters, and that's protecting our right to exist in a free country that we determine the direction and the pathway of tomorrow. We do have things in our history that when we reflect back on them, we go, that was not our best. In fact, some of that is our worst. But because America has always looked at what happens tomorrow, you get to, as an American, reflect on a nation that took one of the oldest practices of time, slavery, and said, no more. And there were people who said, no, we're going to keep doing this. We're going to continue doing this, and we're going to say we're going to do this under the guise of states' rights. We're going to continue doing this. We need to continue doing this. It's what's best for our economy. And a man who pushed against the entire establishment, a man who showed up and said, we cannot stand united as a country, divided this way. It will all fall apart if we continue down this path. And you know what? It's the only thing that matters. We have to fight for freedom in a way that in the 1800s feels a little bit different than in 2001 when we were being attacked from the outside. But we still decided to do it. And our American history puts us in a position where we willingly shed our own blood to stop something that we knew was wrong. And good won out. That's what freedom is. That's what America is. Reflecting on American history doesn't mean pretending that the bad stuff doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that you pretend that the bad people didn't exist or the bad practices doesn't exist. But if you look back on American history, for some reason, eventually we get it right. For some reason, even in the midst of the most hopeless turmoil, in our very short history, we figure out a way to get it right. And to bring it up to modern day, to bring it up to September 10th, 2024, I'm watching this debate last night. And when I left that debate, I'm going to shorten this. We're going to get into more reflection on this, especially in the 1 o'clock hour with Deroy Murdock and Tomi Lahren. But I walked away from that debate last night thinking nothing changed, which was really kind of quite something. How you felt about the Democrat candidate, lover or hater, that's how you walked away from it. How you felt about the Republican candidate, love or hate him, that's the way you felt about that. However you feel about ABC News, you walked away with the same affection or disaffection that you walked into that. And nothing has changed. And I think that we're a pretty divided country right now. And to suggest that this is new in American history, even as short as American history has been, we have been a divided nation many times. And we have figured out ways to come together. By choosing to do the right thing, by choosing to defend freedom, even in the midst of context that changes over the course of time. And I don't really think that this is going to be different. People who walked away from the debate last night feeling defensive, it's okay to have those feelings. If you felt like it was unfair, it's okay to have those feelings. If you felt like your candidate nailed it and hit a home run and you're joyful about it, it's okay to have those feelings. But you got to remember one thing, that this is actually all about you. It's not about him. It's not about her. It's not about ABC. It's about you. And whatever sort of swelling of pride that you have on September 11th, that's for love of a country that's worth fighting for. That's for love of a country and an idea of an existence of something that is real, it's tangible, it's palpable. And in the midst of great conflict and great challenge, America has always found the opportunity to rise to the occasion, to meet that moment. And this one's not different. I'm actually kind of amused by some of the sensationalism I've heard with pundits on cable news, with talk radio today, like people just pulling their hair out over what happened last night. I'm here to remind you that as much as I want you to listen to 15 hours of the Annie Fry Show every week, there are about 46 stories that are going to happen between now and next week that are going to make this debate one way or the other yesterday's news. But the fight still exists. And I actually think that having September 10th debate and September 11th smack everybody around and make them come back to realize that moment that you felt a very clear understanding of how much you loved the United States of America, that's what today is about. It's not just about sadness. It's not just about reflecting on the moments where I do this, you watch the planes hit because you really want to remember. And as soon as you see it, you're like, yes, I am there. Right back to where we started. The importance of remembering what happened is to remember your reactionary feeling and to harness that once again and to be able to share that story with other people. That's resolve. And we have that as a country. And Republicans have that in this country. And Democrats have this same feeling in this country. And the people who decide to harness everything between now and Election Day and beyond to that love of country will have peace because they have clarity. The goal is clear, and it's to protect America. I'm going to play this clip for you before we head out, and I wanted to take the first segment of this show and make sure that I really acknowledge the moment of the day. This is from 2020. It's a quick clip from Donald Trump. And it's when he was still the president of the United States, talking about September 11th.
Today we pay tribute to their sacrifice, and we mourn deeply for the nearly 3,000 precious and beautiful souls who were taken from us on September 11th, 2001.
And you see by the dawn's early light was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular upon spur, singing up, yeah, through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the
If you've been dragging your feet waiting for the perfect opportunity to consolidate your debt, start an overdue home remodel, refinance to a shorter term, or get rid of that dreaded PMI, then now is the time to give me, Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage, a call at 314-336-6050. Interest rates have come down and home values are up. I'm here in St. Louis, and when you call, you will speak to me. Whether you are purchasing your first home, your dream home, or needing to refinance your current home, call a local lender. Call Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage. I will give you straightforward answers and develop a plan that fits your goals. My direct number is 314-336-6050. 314-336-6050. Or online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage, LLC, 224143, NMLS 250353.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-699-1059. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-699-1059. That's 800-699-1059.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Not many window companies do egress windows. Those are the ones used in basements or floors with no emergency exit. GHRcontracting.com. We offer same-day install and financing 0% for 18 months, and there's no hassle with price negotiation. Get an upfront quote on the phone. GHRcontracting.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
We know you've got an interesting take on things. You can tell us by clicking the microphone button next to Listen Live when you're on the Odyssey app. Record a short message for us to hear when you tune into 97.1 on the Odyssey app. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
On that September day.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
With your wife and children, we're working on some stage in L.A. Did you stand there in shock at the sight of that black smoke rising against that blue sky? Did you shout out in anger and fear for your neighbor, or did you just sit down and cry? Did you weep for the children who lost their dear loved ones? Pray for the ones.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Appreciate you being with us on this September 11th afternoon. We can talk more about, Brad and Ryan, your September 11th experiences. I think in the 2 o'clock hour, we do this every year, some reflection. I think it's important to talk about. But I do also want to talk about the debate. So Ben Shapiro reacted to what happened last night, and he basically says everything I want to say, but in about a fourth of the time.
I was going to say, but faster.
Yeah, so here, let's listen to it.
She was fairly obnoxious. She lied a lot. She said a lot of things that were untrue. She was never called on any of that. The big takeaway is going to be the continued destruction of the legacy media on behalf of the Democratic Party. The legacy media have decided, full scale, they are now apparatchiks of the Democratic Party. They are so far up Kamala Harris's ass that they're doing active colonoscopies with their eyeballs. It's unbelievable watching David Muir ask questions to Donald Trump like, why are you so bad and orange and mean? And then turning to Kamala Harris and saying, and why is he so bad and orange and mean? It's absolutely insipid and totally insane. The media tonight were beyond the worst expectations that I had for them. I thought that they were going to do like a baseline creditable job because CNN did. Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, they actually did that in the last debate. They actually asked questions and let people answer them. David Muir became an active participant in this debate. Lindsey Davis became an active participant in the debate. And then they never once fact-checked Kamala Harris, who lied over and over and over. She lied. She said, for example, that Donald Trump was a backer of Project 2025. A lie. She said that Donald Trump said there were very fine people on both sides of the Charlottesville riots, including the neo-Nazis. That is a lie. It's been debunked repeatedly. They did not say that that was a lie. She said that he had said that he was going to unleash a bloodbath on the country if he lost. That's a full-scale lie. They never fact-checked a single thing that she did the entire night. And actually, that helps Trump.
So there's Ben Shapiro, like I said, succinctly, quickly nailing all of the necessary points. Ben Shapiro, well done. I just take it away. I don't want to ask you a specific question that boxes you in. What do you want to say about the debate?
Last night, going home from Dave & Buster's at our live event, I was kind of putting my thoughts together about what I felt happened. I was in the same category as you, where I felt like nothing really happened. I don't think the needle's going to move a whole lot. But I got home, and my wife was still awake, surprisingly. She's asleep by then. And I said, hey, did you catch any of it?
What'd you think?
Yeah, what'd you think? And now keep in mind, my wife is an English teacher. She does teach some electives like debate, so she kind of watches these things a little bit more critically. We think of it politically. She's watching it more stylistic and communicative because that's what she teaches. And she said, well, what do you think? I said, no.
You first.
I want to hear I don't want to taint anything.
I'm asking the questions here.
Yeah. I want to hear your unbiased take on anything you watch. And she said she watched maybe a half of it to a third of it or something like that. And the first thing she said was, I don't know who those debate moderators were. And again, she's taught this subject. And she said, I don't understand why, and there are a number of ways you could do this, why they would constantly kind of ask follow-up questions of Trump and not ask follow-up questions of Harris. And she's rather apolitical, although I think she's probably more conservative now because she's married to me. But she just questioned the way the whole thing came out.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, I'm glad I didn't ask or tell you my opinion first, because that was such a good take from somebody who was not watching it to try to figure out who she's voting for.
What do Americans want the most? Americans want fairness.
Yeah.
Because if it's not a fair fight, who do you cheer for? The underdog.
Mm-hmm.
Always. And it's funny to me, the underdog doesn't really go out and keep telling you they're the underdog. If you have to be saying you're the underdog, you're not the underdog. Everybody knows who the underdog, who the David is to the Goliath. And the truth of the matter is, there's not been a day in Donald Trump's political career where he hasn't been the underdog, because he's got to go into that debate last night, and it's 3-on-1. I saw a comment, it might have been on our YouTube chat here, and if it is, credit where credit is due to the commenter who said it. I don't know if it was that or on Twitter. But last night was a little bit 4-on-1. Donald Trump got in his own way a few times, but it was definitely downstream from the totally predictable ridiculousness of what your wife pointed out, which is the fair playing field. It wasn't a fair playing field. I don't know why Donald Trump would ever go onto an ABC debate and expect it to be a fair playing field. But I want to point one really important thing out. David Muir and Lindsay Davis are not the moderators that Donald Trump's going in going, oh, we got good ones. They're not. ABC is entirely not. Will Scharf on our show this week was pointing out that Donald Trump is currently suing ABC for defamation in a case that Will Scharf commented that he believes that they're going to be victorious in because ABC is not fair to Donald Trump. Here's what you need to know about the debate last night. Donald Trump has repeatedly said anywhere, anytime, any rules, any stipulations, and before you go, oh, no, they were bickering back and forth about the rules. He agreed to Joe Biden's rules that Kamala Harris got all whiny about and wanted to change. Donald Trump answers the call no matter how difficult it is, no matter how challenging it is, no matter how unfair it is. Instead of spending all of his time whining about trying to make the case like, oh, they're not being fair to me, he shows up to every fight, to every playground bully, and also complains there about it being unfair, but he shows up to the fight. Kamala Harris has shown up to 2, and both times she had support. One in Tim Walz, one in the moderators from ABC. Kamala Harris cannot hang in tough situations. And if she could, she would do a debate that was agreeable to Americans as more fair. I think if you look at the ratings of the cable networks, yes, we're a Fox News Radio affiliate station. Every once in a while, I like to remind you that I have never gotten $1 in my career from any entity that it is Fox News. But if they're interested, you know how to find me. When I am on a Fox News Radio affiliate station, I am paid by Odyssey. Odyssey is my employer. I say what I want. Nobody puts words in my mouth. I've never had anyone take words out of my mouth. I'm here to say whatever I feel. I am objectively telling you right now that the majority of Americans are watching Fox News for some reason. You would think that if you wanted to reach the most people, those people are seeking out Fox News for whatever reason it is to begin with, that you would do a debate with Fox News. And if Kamala Harris wants to be the president of the United States, Fox News cannot be too frightening for her. It's as simple as that. Donald Trump shows up with every single roadblock in front of him, and he still debates. And if you were in that situation, and here's the truth, we have all been in a situation where you walked in and you're like, I am walking into my own hose job here. You know that the deck is stacked against you. It might be athletically. You might be going into an athletic event and you know that the refs are never fair. The court is a goofy size, or the field isn't the way it's supposed to be. It's uneven, or whatever it might be.
The wind's blowing a certain direction, and you're going to be going that way the whole game.
Yeah, like things that could be fixed, things that couldn't be fixed. But the world is out to get you today, and you can do one of two things. You can show up and give it your best shot, or you can go home. Nobody wants to get behind the person who goes home because that person is a loser. An agreed upon loser. Losers make excuses. People who are winners show up. And Donald Trump shows up for the American people in the face of every single adversity every time he's given the opportunity. He went out onto the floor last night after the debate to go talk to the spin room and the press. Kamala Harris would never, ever, ever, ever
she was in the corner
that.
getting toweled off and getting some water.
No kidding. She would never find herself in, because it's a scary situation. She could screw up. Donald Trump is a fighter for you. Donald Trump knows what he needs to do. And if you've ever been in a situation, probably on a smaller scale, but still very important to you, where everything has been stacked up against you and you still had to go fight for yourself, fight for what you felt was right, yeah, you'd be pissed off too. Yeah, you'd be angry. And the fact that Donald Trump goes in knowing what he's getting himself into, and people are like, oh, he took the bait. He's getting angry. She's getting under his skin. Well, you're gosh darn right. I challenge you to take the type of bullets that the man has taken himself. Maybe he wasn't as pristine and perfect as you would like your very polished politician to be. But may I introduce you to Donald Trump? He's been successful without having to be that way. Maybe in some cases he's been unsuccessful, but he is who he is. He doesn't need a week in a hotel room to be polished up to memorize a script in order to make sure that you can deliver the lines as they come. That's not who he is. That's why I like him. I think that's why a lot of people like him. Donald Trump is a fighter. He always has been. He's always going to be. And if you think for a second that if you were in that position, you wouldn't be mad as hell as well, you're not paying enough attention. You don't know what they're doing to this man. They literally shot him. He brought it up last night, and ABC cut him off and never brought up the fact that there was an assassination attempt that grazed the head of Donald Trump. And I have seen people on social media talking about how it barely hit him. This is where the FCC comes in and tells me what I can't say. Brad, do you want to talk about the debate now, or do you want to talk about it later? What do you want to do?
I can do either one. I mean, the one thing that I always...
give me the preface, and we'll double back
I
on
had
it later.
one thing locked and loaded that I really wanted to mention, and it was about how the moderators handled it, and I hate whenever the moderators are the story and not the debate. And the problem is we looked at CNN, we watched CNN do their debate, and the moderators were like the Homer Simpson meme where they just kind of faded back into the bushes. They weren't the story. They were so much not the story that people complained that they didn't interrupt anybody enough. David Muir, the one thing that really stuck out at me was they asked Trump about did he lose the election. He said he did it. He said that comment, I lost by election. It was sarcastically. Muir's response, fact check, was, well, it didn't look like it was sarcasm to me.
I didn't sense sarcasm.
Yeah, that's not a fact check. That is your opinion, and that has no place in a moderated debate. It has no place in there.
The more offensive part about that is what he said next. He goes, well, Kamala, he seems to not have a problem, in so many words. He fact checks Trump, gives his own opinion, and then pivots over to Kamala Harris and is like, well, it seems as though Donald Trump, it's like Donald Trump could be like, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Hello. Unmute my mic, which they didn't at the beginning when Kamala was clapping back as well. Yeah, let's talk more about it throughout the course of the show. Tomi Lahren, she's got some critical things to say about Donald Trump at 125. I'm going to get something positive out of her. That's my goal at 125. Stick around for that. Deroy Murdock next in the 1 o'clock hour. But before that, Ryan Wiggins.
I want to teach you to be a man.
This says 6 signs your coworkers don't like you, but I don't think that's
No, that's
correct.
an old one.
That's an old one. You're really pushing the 6 signs your coworkers don't
if I was still on that, I'd be a little concerned. Now, I'm going to teach everybody, including Annie, how to be a better man.
I might be the better man.
We'll see.
We'll be right back.
I watch CNN, but I'm not sure I can tell you the difference in Iraq and Iran.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I know Jesus and I talk
Follow
to
Annie on
God,
Twitter
and I
at
remember
Annie Fry
this
Show.
from when I was young. Faith, hope, and love are some good things He gave us, and the greatest is love.
I want to talk to you about Air Comfort Service and the opportunity they have right now. Reach out to them at 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, and talk to them about a flash deal that they have going on right now for a free service call. If your AC or your furnace needs service, go to aircomfortservice.com/flash to take advantage of this limited time offer. 314-513-0091 or aircomfortservice.com/flash and talk to them about that service call, that free service call that you would like to enjoy in your home. This is almost $100 worth of savings, so make sure that you reach out to them and secure this before this limited time offer is gone. They've been keeping St. Louis area homeowners cool in the summer and warm in the winter for over 55 years. My family included in that bunch. Reach out to them today and get that flash deal secured for your home. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. aircomfortservice.com/flash.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
If you need someone you can trust for your eye care, go see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Kim St. Ange here. Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry are experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
McKelvey Homes is celebrating 126 years with big savings for you. McKelvey Homes, found at McKelveyHomes.com, was established in 1898. Get $18,980 off your new home, plus up to $10,000 cash at closing from the Carpenters Union. Hurry, these funds are first come, first serve, and they won't last long. Experience the legendary quality and move up to McKelvey. Visit McKelveyHomes.com.
Do you do something intentional to remember September 11th, 2001? Yes or no? Let us know. And, of course, this is one where we really would like to hear your comments, too. If it's no, then I can't really recommend leaving a comment. But if it's a yes, we'd like to know what you do. 12:50. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Wednesday, September 25th, join the Annie Fry Show in St. Charles as we support Princess Storm's annual diaper drive. You can buy diapers at Ruler Foods to donate right there on the spot or bring your own. Come say hi. Wednesday, September 25th.
She grew up on the side of the road where the church bells ring and strong love grows. She grew up good, she grew up slow, like American honey. Steady as a
Wiggins!
Oh!
Wiggins! All right, men. We're going to see how you're doing and also make you better at what you're doing. Unspoken rules for men is what we have here. Now, this is a topic that I have researched in the past and found some really good ones.
How to be a better man?
Yeah, how to be a better man. And most of the time, I just take these home.
Better man.
That is...
Better man.
Oh, Can't Find a Better Man. That is Pearl Jam.
Is it called Better Man or is it called Jeremy or something?
Well, those are different songs.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know that. I didn't know that they were both Pearl Jam songs.
They have one called Better Man. They have one called Daughter.
It's called Better Man.
Full spectrum. So.
Like today? You could be both.
From before, the last couple that we had, just a reminder, we told you last time, this was probably a month or two ago, dress well no matter what the occasion. Always carry cash.
Are you just giving us the list?
Yeah, this is from last time.
Oh.
Just a recap of the last one.
Dress well, carry cash.
Never pose with alcohol. Remember talking about that one?
Yeah, I think it's a smart move.
Proper grammar will get you far in life. Leave the foul language.
Where will country grammar get you?
St. Louis.
Okay. You can
you can go outside of St. Louis with it, but you'll always be famous here if you do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell a great deal about a person by their handshake, so make yours strong and firm.
Yeah.
That's what we said last time. Few for you this time.
How on a scale of 0 to 10, what do you rate your handshake?
Oh, a 10.
Okay. You ever shaking hands with yourself?
Yeah, all the time. I practice in the mirror. It's hard because I keep hitting my knuckles on it. Ow! Ah, there it is again. Every morning. It was such a bad joke that it caught you off guard. Yeah, it did. Yes, it did. All right, number 1. Never shake a hand sitting down.
Yeah, you should stand up.
Mm-hmm. You got to stand up. I forget this. There are times that somebody will...
You probably did that 72 times last night.
I know. I'm just sitting there. Somebody comes and says hello. I'm like, hey.
You don't even have to stand all the way up.
Yeah, you just a little bit. Just some respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were saying hello so much last night, and we were sitting doing the live stream. So
Thank you to everybody who came out to the sold out Dave & Buster's.
Yeah.
It's so fun to do those.
What's fun is that there are some people who come to the majority of the events we come to, and then some who it's their first one every time. And it's just fun to meet everybody. So don't shake a hand sitting down. If somebody does this to you, though, are you offended?
It depends. Is it you?
Yes.
Yeah, then yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Probably, it depends. Are you just, I mean, if you're truly in the middle of something, not really. I know. I like a little lean.
I do too. I'm not saying I don't like it, but I'm not offended. Here's the thing. If I do it, I'm not trying to show disrespect to anybody. I may be in the middle of something like we were last night, but I also try very hard to look the person in the eye and acknowledge them, which I think is the most important thing, that you're not just flippantly, you're like, All right, number 2. Never insult the cooking when you're the guest.
Maybe just never insult the cooking. Yeah. If you ain't cooking it.
Yeah.
It seems like a pretty obvious one.
Let's say if you ain't cooking it, you are the guest.
Let's determine when it is appropriate to insult the cooking.
Mm-hmm. What if it's so bad
If she's
that
getting
you
really
can't-
out of line.
You can't. Yeah, you can't help it. You're trying really hard, and you're like, "This is terrible," but you keep forcing it down, and then you just throw it up.
My husband. Okay.
That how? What do you? You can't hide it.
You could not eat it.
Well,
As
you're not
to not
gonna-
regurgitate it.
That'd be an insult. I think the bigger insult would be when you threw it up.
You just have to learn how to cut it up and move it around your plate like it looks like you made a dent.
Ooh,
And then
that's
you're
an
like,
art.
I'm full.
That's an art. Kids learn that real early.
Yeah. Knocks him on the floor. Hope there's a dog.
Mm-hmm. Never eat the last piece of something you didn't buy.
Definitely.
Brad?
It has to be Midwest offered to you about 7 times. No, it's okay. It's all right. No, really, you eat it.
What if there's nobody to offer it? Let's say
Are
you're
you sitting by yourself?
Let's say
bought
you're
it?
walking through the kitchen at Odyssey St. Louis, and there's a cake or a pizza.
That doesn't matter.
It's there. It's the last piece.
If you're in line, you don't eat it.
No, there's no line. It's just there.
No, that's free food.
Okay, good.
That's
because I do that.
free for all food. People put it out there. They know that you'll finish it off.
Right. Oh,
man,
If you're
there's one
sitting at a
donut
ta-
left. I'm grabbing that
If
donut.
you're sitting at a table and you got 4 people, 6 people there, and someone buys an appetizer for the table, you don't take the last one. Unless you bought it.
I agree.
And
Well,
if you
yeah,
bought
if you bought it.
as soon as someone takes the second to last one, you snatch that thing up so fast.
This one, some of these are kind of funny. This one I think is very important. Take the blame and give the credit when it's due.
Yeah.
Now, taking the blame,
That is being a man.
That
That's
is being a man.
good person, but definitely being a man.
that's something that is the exact opposite of your instinct. If somebody blames me for something that I feel like it wasn't really my fault, but maybe I was associated with it somehow, I've had to learn as an adult to say, I'll take responsibility, regardless of whether it was really my fault or not. Just be the one to say, all right, cool, I got it. I'll deal with it.
And it's the hardest thing to do.
It
It
is.
has never gotten any easier to do it.
No. Here, and my instinct still is to defend myself, and I've had to get to the point where I just go, it's all right, just let it go. But then giving credit where credit is due is important too. I think working on a team, which we do, you have to do that. You have to do it all the time. Annie?
Do you have the next question? Do you have next question done for Friday?
Oh, man. I almost wish comedically I could tell you no and then dance around it, but it is.
You have it done?
It's ready.
I'm proud of you.
Even yesterday when we were talking about it, I actually had half of it done.
You are really great at what you do when publicly shamed for not doing it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I thought yesterday it was
Credit
more
where credit is
It
due.
was more comedic to act like I hadn't done anything,
Ryan.
but I actually had done so. Look, I'll take the blame.
I never asked you if you had started it. I asked you if you had finished it.
No, I had not finished it yet.
It was a week and a half delinquent.
In my defense, you said it once on a Friday, and I didn't remember, and I thought you had forgotten also.
Take the blame.
You were hoping that I'd forgotten.
You're right. I need to stop defending.
Yeah.
Hey,
no,
you know what? I'll
no.
take responsibility.
You literally had an idea at 12:50 p.m. yesterday that you executed at my expense at 2:38.
Yeah, that went really well. I'll take the credit for that.
Shush. Deroy Murdock next.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Triton Exteriors. If you're younger than me, you may not have ever really experienced truly great customer service. You will with Triton Exteriors. We're a James Hardy siding company. We have a huge color selection. We do fences. We do pretty much everything on the exteriors. We have a great reputation. We have tons, 800 positive online reviews with Angie's List. Great with the BBB. Call 314-717-1159 or book online at triton-stl.com.
It's a good thing baseballs already have stitches, because the way these ball players are hitting them, yeah, they need stitches if they didn't already have them. So the next time you're watching a poor little baseball smacked off the wall in center, keep that little fella in your thoughts. It's hard to be a baseball right now. Baseball is something else. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Nearly 3,000 names are read again on Lisa Brady. Fox News says they are every year on 9/11, where the Twin Towers stood in New York, at the Pentagon, and in a Pennsylvania field where a 4th hijacked plane crashed.
In the rolling hills of Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
My mom, Cece Louise Ross Lyles.
The reading of the names for the 23rd time since terrorists hijacked United Flight 93 in 2001, before some of the 40 passengers and crew members aboard became heroes, rushing the terrorists, forcing the plane to the ground where 23 years later, a visible scar from the crash remains. Victims' names etched in stone with a living memorial called the Tower of Voices, and where today 150 family members and dignitaries gather to remember. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
President Biden with Vice President Harris and former President Trump taking part in separate wreath-laying ceremonies there. Earlier, they were all at Ground Zero in New York, where Trump and Harris again shook hands this morning after their first debate last night. The outer bands of Hurricane Francine are whipping across the Gulf Coast, from Louisiana to the Alabama-Florida line. Fox Weather's Robert Ray is about 50 miles southwest of New Orleans.
Here in Homa, about 60,000 people in the entire area, a fishing village. They are ready. They have been hunkering down and boarding up windows and businesses and homes. New Orleans is preparing. Hurricane warnings in effect right now. Flash flood warnings. Everyone needs to be very prepared. The system will then move up into the states above and to the east, and we shall see. There could even be tornadoes that are spawned out of this system.
Landfall is expected in Louisiana this afternoon or evening, with the center then heading north across Mississippi tomorrow. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
We continue to go through our hottest day of the week. Now, it's nothing extreme, but 92 will do it for the high with some hazy, sunny skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, upper 80s this evening, 66 for the low. On Thursday, a mix of clouds and sunshine, though more and more clouds taking over, 84. Then tropical showers and possible thunderstorms Thursday night and throughout the day on Friday. 74 on Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
STS-Armory.com, STS-Armory.com. In Pontoon Beach, Illinois, if you're looking for a firearm purchase, ammunition, if you're looking for accessories, security, and if you are looking for education and qualification for your conceal and carry license, STS Armory, these are your people. They're my people, and I hope that you'll give them the chance to explain to you whatever you need. If it's help with a FOID card, if it's help with a conceal and carry, if it's help finding the right conceal weapon for you or the right home protection or the right hunting rifle, whatever it might be, STS Armory will guide you through that purchase so that you make sure that you get something that you really love, that really serves your purposes and your needs, and you'll have the confidence that you're getting a great deal. 618-931-GUNS, 618-931-GUNS. You give them a call and you let them know that you're coming. If you want to ask them about classes and get signed up for that, they are there available for you to get scheduled. And they've got a lot of really, really great things in store. So go visit them in Pontoon Beach or online at sts-armory.com.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
What's it going to take for you to realize the IRS is in full-blown attack mode, and if you have IRS issues, your timely response is critical? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We certainly know the IRS has ramped up efforts because we're seeing a lot more clients with threats of intents to seize property or levy rights to property. If you have IRS issues, call the Lance Drury Firm today. Today, don't wait. Those IRS notices have hard deadlines for exercising your appeal rights. If you miss the deadline, your rights to a legal appeal are gone. Let the Lance Drury Law Firm get between you and the IRS today, and we'll help you manage your case to achieve the best outcome. IRS problems are serious legal matters, so call Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Don't wait. Call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120, and schedule your free consultation with me, Lance Drury, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
You've got thoughts. Did you know you also have a microphone? Listen to 97.1 on the Odyssey app and click the microphone to leave a voice message. Whatever's on your mind, let us know by clicking the microphone in the Odyssey app.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
The American people are smart, and Kamala Harris talks to them like they're children. She repeats these ridiculous platitudes where if you actually think about what she said, you realize that it doesn't make any sense. She talks a lot about her plans, but then her plans, when you analyze the substance, don't make any sense. And more importantly, John, the American people don't get fed on plans. She has been the vice president for 3.5 years. What she can't do, refuses to do, and has no ability to do is to say, I accomplished lower prices because she didn't, or I accomplished lower housing prices because she didn't, or I secured the southern border because she didn't do that. She has failed as vice president, and the fundamental question is, do we want to give her a promotion? I think the answer has to be no, John.
J.D. Vance answering a question, I think that was from ABC last night, and it was amazing to see how that question was prefaced with a bunch of things that Donald Trump has said prior to the debate about Kamala Harris, and he was like, is that what you've seen? Is that what you saw from Kamala Harris tonight? And J.D. Vance brought it right back to the American people, which is what needs to be done. The American people need to be at the epicenter of this conversation. I don't know if that's how the debate last night really ended up going. Let's ask our friend Deroy Murdock about it, who joins us once again. He's a nationally syndicated columnist and a Fox News contributor. Deroy, we've made it another week. The debate last night, how'd you feel about it?
Annie, great to speak with you. I thought the debate, a couple of reactions. One was the moderators, as I imagine you may have mentioned to your audience already. They fact-checked Trump 5 times. They fact-checked Kamala Harris 0 times, even though she had quite a few things she said that deserved to be fact-checked. So I would say that they were putting their thumbs, if not their hands or elbows, on the scale. I wish they had behaved like Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, the CNN debate. I thought, even though those two are not fans of Donald J. Trump, they were much more even-handed. I thought that was quite a fair debate. I was pleasantly surprised at how they carried themselves. But aside from that, I thought Kamala Harris, I think she benefited from low expectations. A lot of people thought that she'd get up and, in such a setting where she had to talk that long, she would start giggling and serving word salads and all that. I thought she was quite coherent. She was tough. She was focused. She obviously, the debate camp paid good dividends for her. And, Trump certainly had moments where he was able to get his points across, but I think, unfortunately, he bit into every baited hook that she threw into the water and that the moderators did as well. And he ended up getting into discussions about, to a degree, her racial background, and then the size of the crowd sizes, rallies, or how long people stick around as rallies if they leave early, and a lot of things that are just irrelevant. And I really wish he'd mentioned a number of his own policy positions. For example, he's talked about no tax on tips. I think it's a great idea. And whether you like it or dislike it, it's one of the big ideas he's come up with. He didn't mention it at this debate or the previous debate. He also has proposed having no taxes on Social Security benefits. I'm sure a lot of the senior citizens who get Social Security benefits would have been intrigued to learn about Trump's wish that their Social Security benefits not be taxed. He didn't mention that. And I think the one big thing that he should have done that he didn't was just very simply, at some point, I think at the end of his closing argument, he should have said, ask everyone who's watched this debate, whether you like or dislike what you've heard so far, sit down in a hard chair and ask yourself this question: are you better off now under Kamala Harris than you were under the presidency of Donald J. Trump? And if you're better off now under Kamala Harris, maybe she's the candidate you want to back. And if you think you were better off under Donald J. Trump's presidency, when Trump was in the White House, with lower inflation, higher affordability, cheaper gas, cheaper food, lower interest rates, peace through strength, a calm Middle East rather than explosive Middle East, Ukraine, inside Ukraine's borders, Russia within Russia's borders, no war in Europe, and a much more under control, if not closed, U.S. border, and a much lower crime rate than you see today. If you think things are better off back then your choice is simple. Donald J. Trump, please put him back in the White House, and I will make America great again.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a perfect closing argument. Instead, we got a very negative description of how terrible things are in America today, and they are. But he should have said, and the answer to that is, me and my program, here it is. So I think there were multiple missed opportunities for Trump, unfortunately, and Kamala Harris came forward, I thought with a much stronger performance than I think anybody expected.
Yeah, I do. I think you said that correctly when you mentioned the low expectations that she had. I think she definitely exceeded the lowest of low expectations that many had set out for her. I think there are a lot of opportunities that a lot of us watching wish that Donald Trump would have taken. And I think I mentioned this a little bit earlier in the show too. If you understood that you were playing in a tilted challenge and a tilted game, you would be like, we all would be mad in that instance. And Donald Trump, everywhere he goes, the situation is always tilted against him. So I think that it's understandable why he's frustrated. You just need him to rise above. People looking at Kamala Harris, though, there was a lot of stuff out there saying, she needs to introduce herself. I don't know how many times we have to be introduced to the vice president of the United States, but last night was another opportunity. I don't really know what you walk away from last night with regarding Kamala Harris, where you're like, well, I did not know that about her. That's really interesting. I don't know that she had that moment either.
I'm not sure she had that, but I'm always amazed, or recently amazed, I should say, by her rhetoric. She says things like, "I want to have an opportunity economy." Right after the debate, she had some rally, whatever, with her, or cheering section with her fans in the hotel room or her hotel, what have you. She stood in front of a big banner and said, "Freedom, freedom, freedom, freedom." I mean, usually the Republicans talk about freedom and the Democrats talk about justice. We talk about opportunity; they talk about equality or equity these days. So she's really kind of almost impersonating Marsha Blackburn or something like this. She's this great conservative leader of ours, and it's remarkable to me that she's been able to use that kind of rhetoric, run away from her previous beliefs, and not things she believed in college and maybe she's grown up and she's abandoned. We're talking about the position she had in 2019 and 2020. And then, suddenly I guess we're supposed to believe that over the last 4 years she's been, reading, Conscience of a Conservative and The Road to Serfdom and the Wall Street Journal editorial page, and she's suddenly turned into this great, free market, limited government libertarian. I mean, it's one of the greatest dramatic performances I've seen. It's almost, worthy of Meryl Streep's thespian skills. The question is she going to get away with it? And I think if it's up to Trump over the next 55 or so days to make the case that this woman is not just a Democrat or a liberal Democrat, I think she's frankly a neo-Marxist, hardest left person ever to run for president of the United States. And there's great evidence of this in terms of her previous positions, her behavior as president of the United States, and the fact that she's flip-flopped on every issue from Medicare for all to whether or not we're going to ban plastic straws. it's hard to believe that, okay, maybe she took a look at the medical industry and decided, Medicare for all just goes too far. It's not going to work. Okay, maybe she's learned something. She's changed one or two positions, but she's going to change everything from the Green New Deal all the way down to plastic straws. It says to me, I think Bernie Sanders, kind of gave away the store on this. And he didn't say, look, she's obviously changed her philosophy. He said, I don't think she's abandoning her ideas. I think she's trying to be pragmatic and doing what she thinks is right in order to win the election. And so I think she's just impersonating a moderate Democrat now. And if, God forbid, she gets elected on November 5, she's going to have another epiphany, probably right about January 20th. And all of a sudden she'll say, wow, all those ideas I had in 2019, I think are pretty good ideas. And she's going to flip-flop and then flip back again to where she was. And we're not going to get the middle-of-the-road Democrat she's portraying now. We're going to get the hardcore San Francisco Democrat, which she is. And, I think 6 months into a Kamala Harris presidency, we're all going to be missing Joe Biden and saying, can't we please bring back the moderate, middle-of-the-road Joe Biden, who, at least was a socialist, but not a full-blown Marxist, full-blown, almost Marxist-Leninist. So I think people need to focus on that. And I'd urge you and all of the listeners, everyone hearing our voices today, go out and talk to your friends, neighbors, loved ones, coworkers, et cetera, and make the case that Kamala Harris is still a left-wing Democrat with a lot of terrible ideas that will take a country that's kind of weak and wobbly now and really throw us down into the abyss.
Yeah, I really do feel like after last night, I wanted to be more refreshed and more excited about what was lying ahead for Donald Trump. I didn't feel that, but I don't really totally feel like anything else really changed in the race so far. So maybe a missed opportunity, but not a game-ending situation for either candidate, I suppose. Deroy, before I let you go, I know that you're a New Yorker, and I know that you you've shared your story, your September 11th story with us before, and I was wondering if you could do that again and talk to us about your experience on this day in 2001.
Well, it's hard to believe it's been 23 years since this happened, but I remember very well how things unfolded. I got up in the morning early because I had a trip to, I forget where I was flying, but I had a trip. I was going to hop on a plane that afternoon, and I was going to finish up an op-ed piece before I left. So I was sitting on my balcony on a gorgeous day. It was sunny, the sapphire skies. I'm not sure I've ever seen as blue a sky here in New York before or since. And I was editing this piece on a nice warm breeze, and I hear a big roaring sound. I look up and I see an American Airlines jet flying over my building, very low. I'd say about 1,000 feet maybe. And the roar was so loud it set off car alarms on the street. So I thought, oh, this is not good. I figured maybe the pilot had his hydraulics blow out or his navigational gear died or something. I figured he was probably trying to head towards Newark Airport, which is in the direction he was flying. But I figured he's so low, he's probably not going to make it. I thought this guy's probably going to crash the jet into Washington Square Park, and everyone on board will be dead, but it would reduce fatalities on the ground. And so I kind of braced for a big explosion. Well, I didn't hear it. I figured, okay, maybe they fixed their problem. And about 5-6 minutes later, I started seeing smoke blowing across to the south, but it wasn't thick black smoke like I would expect out of a plane crash. It was sort of a beige smoke. So I figured maybe someone's cleaning a chimney or something. And about a minute later, the phone rings. I go inside, and a friend of mine is just hysterically saying, I know these people are burning. They're on fire. I was there last week. These people are on fire. They're burning. Hey, people at Cantor Fitzgerald, I was there last week. They're on fire. I go, his name was Vance. Calm down, Vance. I don't understand what's going on. He goes, turn on your TV. So I turned on the TV and then saw the North Tower, Tower 1, burning. And then right about the second plane hit. And I thought I was seeing a rerun, like instant replay of the first one. And then I realized, oh, that's the second plane. And then I realized, okay, this is not an accident. This is deliberate. And that's when we all realized, okay, America's under attack. Yeah. And things just unfolded from there. But that's how my September 11th started. And I think about it still today, and it's hard to believe that 23 years have passed since that horrifying day where Al-Qaeda brought terror, mayhem, and murder right to Manhattan Island.
Deroy, what is your emotion? Like, there are a lot of people who had resolve on September 12th. Like, there was a clarity about what you cared about and what was important after watching all of that happen on that day. If there's a patriotic sense to that, like, is there a way for you to summarize that emotion for you after the fact?
That's a good question. I remember expecting and wanting to be sad because it's such in addition to the horror of the assault, it was such a tragic thing to have happen. But I was more angry. I was so angry I didn't cry until Friday. When I was coming back from walking through Washington Square Park, they're having a candlelight vigil, and as I think I was walking home, maybe it was that Thursday. It's the first I saw those posters, the missing posters people put on the walls. They were all over the place, and at that point, it wasn't just a building collapsing; it was human faces of people who I figured were dead. And then came the tears. Up until then, I was enraged that these people had come and attacked our country. I felt the great patriotic pride of seeing the F-16s overhead, which were patrolling. They were just flying overhead nonstop for the first week or so. And I thought to myself, well, here are these, brave men and women, pilots from the Air Force or U.S. Navy pilots, whatever it is, flying overhead to make sure we weren't attacked again. And so there's a great combination of patriotic fervor, gratitude and respect for the American Armed Services, rage that we were attacked, and then eventually, as I say, the tears finally came when I was able to connect human faces with the unbelievable assault that we'd experienced that Tuesday morning.
Deroy, thanks for sharing that with us. It's an incredible firsthand account. We appreciate that. Thanks for being with us today. Next week, there will be more. We will connect
next week. Okay. Thank you, Annie.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye now.
I remember, I think it might have been last year, it was around September 11th, and he had brought up his experience of feeling the rush of that airplane flying right over him in New York City. And I just thought, oh my gosh, those images of the missing people, if you go to the 9/11 memorial in New York City, they have those images up in that memorial. And I know exactly the kind of emotion that I felt years later in 2019 when I went and experienced that memorial. I can't even imagine what it would be like to experience those within the week that those lives were gone missing. On the Annie Fry YouTube channel, in the description there, I have a link to the YouTube video. I've got about a 10-minute video or so of my experience of touring the 9/11 memorial in New York City, and I encourage you to check it out. If you've never seen the inside of the memorial, it's just pretty much the walkthrough. There's not really much talking in it at all, so there's not much for me to play on the air for you, but I might show some of it just on the live stream after the show is over. Let's take a quick break. Tomi Lahren reacts to the debate when we come back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Fry Show.
Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of green, for purple mountains majesty, above the fruited plain, America, God shed His grace on thee.
TheDiamondShop.net. If you're looking to make a jewelry purchase sometime soon, hurry over to the Diamond Shop in Clayton because clearance sale up to 70% off with this amazing clearance sale at the Diamond Shop. When you go visit them, you are going to see some of the most beautiful pieces unique to the Diamond Shop. They do such great work. You can save up to 70% off right now with that clearance special. They also have 25% off all watches, which includes Movado watches, and 60% off all lab-grown diamond jewelry. And that is a really, really great opportunity to get into something that you've been looking for. Let me remind you that they have 6 months, same as cash financing at the Diamond Shop. So you can go there and enjoy something, find the perfect gift, maybe a Christmas gift, factor in that 6 months, same as cash. And you are looking at an affordable gift. Maybe you're going to ask that question come Christmas time. Get that process started now with the beautiful jewelry at the Diamond Shop. You can go online and become a VIP by scrolling down on the homepage at thediamondshop.net.
Outdoor Living Redefined, brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design, your trusted partner in crafting stunning decks, inviting screened rooms, and elegant porch overhangs. Imagine enjoying a crisp morning coffee on your beautifully designed deck, or hosting gatherings in a spacious screened room. Lakeside turns your vision into reality. Our skilled craftsmen use top-notch materials to create spaces that stand up to the elements and stand out in style. Elevate your lifestyle with Lakeside's outdoor living expertise. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Great conversation with Deroy Murdock talking about his experience of being in New York City and feeling the planes fly just right over his building before they crashed into the Twin Towers. If you didn't get to hear that, rewind it on the Odyssey app or go find the Annie Fry Show podcast. We'll get that up quickly. We're talking about September 11th. We're talking about the debate. What a weird thing to try to mesh together. This is America. This is the way we do things. And coming up next, we've got Tomi Lahren. She's on with us once again from Tomi Lahren is Fearless. Definitely check her out on Outkick. You see her on Fox News as a Fox News commentator as well. Tomi, welcome back to the show. It's good to have you here.
Oh, it's great to talk to you. Obviously, a big day for our country, a big day in politics, and of course, a solemn reminder of what happens to a country when you let your guard down. I think all Americans would be wise to remember what happened 23 years ago and understand that it could very well happen again. So, it seems like sometimes tragedy and remembering horrible events are disconnected from politics, but I think now more than ever, the two are interconnected, and it's important to make that connection.
Yeah, it's a wise connection to make, certainly. We watched this debate. We want to talk to you about the debate last night. We had a debate watch party. We had 200 people at a Dave & Buster's here in St. Louis. I don't think anybody left feeling the way they did after Donald Trump debated Joe Biden. I think they were pretty realistic about it, but there was no excitement for Kamala Harris either. I don't know how much you feel has changed. I kind of felt like it was a wash. But we're in another day of this election cycle that's starting to come to actual voting. What's your takeaway from last night's debate?
So when I watch any of these debates or the press conferences or the sit-down interviews, I always try to watch it as if I were somebody who was undecided, as if I were somebody who was teetering between the two, hadn't made my mind up yet. And I think it's really important for those of us who do media or television or politics on a daily basis, who are so entrenched in this, to try to put ourselves in the shoes of somebody who doesn't do this every day, somebody who's just busy with their kids and their families and their jobs and their schooling, and they're not paying attention as closely as maybe some of us who do this for a living are. So I watched it through that lens, and I've got to be honest with you. I think that Kamala probably outperformed the expectations of her, and I was very cautious about setting the bar low for her walking into this because unlike Joe Biden, she is able to rehearse. She is able to remember canned lines. She is able to put on a performance. And that's exactly what we saw from Kamala Harris last night. It was a choreographed performance. Whoever was advising her knew exactly what to tell her to say, debate Donald Trump. And unfortunately for Trump supporters and conservative voters, Donald Trump did not do a good job of resisting the bait, and he did not do a good job of redirecting back to the issues that those Americans who are undecided care about. So unfortunately, last night to me was a missed opportunity that Donald Trump could have seized and he didn't.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that assessment. Yeah, I think it's very important, exactly what you said, Tommy, to remind ourselves, especially a lot of our listeners who are listening to conservative talk radio all day. They're checking out Fox News. They're watching Outkick. They're plugged in. Not everybody is plugged in. And most people who tuned in last night, it's Trump, it's Kamala. They know where they're going. There are a few people out there right now who are deciding if they're going to vote for the president when they choose to show up to vote and fill out that ballot, or maybe not choose to fill it out at all. Do you feel like Kamala Harris, maybe she didn't seem as insufferable as some people have made her out to be? Do you think she said anything last night that might bring in some of those people who weren't so sure about casting their ballot for the Democrat this time around, that she sold them?
Well, the way that she sold them, and, I use that term very lightly because we really didn't get any policy specifics from her at all. We didn't get any clarifications on her past radical positions that she held just 3.5 years ago. So I look at it, though, as somebody who was just listening to her, wanting to feel nice. Unfortunately, a lot of elections these days are based on how people feel about things. And she was able to deliver answers that were concise, which she in the past has not been able to do. And she was able to make herself sound appealing to those folks out there who were nervous that maybe she would walk in and give us the word salads or the repeat lines about being unburdened by what has been. She didn't do that. She didn't give us the awkward laughing. So in that sense, she accomplished her goal. Unfortunately, Donald Trump went down several rabbit holes that he should not have went down, because that is going to be the coverage for the next week, is them dissecting the things that Donald Trump said. For a lot of folks that are in the middle and undecided, they worry that Donald Trump might be too fringe, or they might worry that Donald Trump is focused too much on relitigating the past. And he did fall into a couple of those traps. And I think we have to be honest about it. And I think we have to be honest in terms of how we move forward from this. If you are a conservative and you want to see Donald Trump win, I think Donald Trump has to buckle down and get incredibly serious in the next 2 weeks. I think he has to be incredibly disciplined with what he says, and he cannot go off on tangents. If he continues to perform like he did last night, it's going to be very difficult for him to win over the undecided who will decide this election.
Tomi Lahren with us right now. She's the host of Tomi Lahren is Fearless on Outkick. Go check out outkick.com. Tommy, I think that to me, in a sports world, this is like game 2 of the World Series. The polls were all going in Donald Trump's favor. He gets game 1. Game 2, close one, goes to Kamala Harris, and everyone's, whining and moaning about the officials, but the game still goes to Kamala Harris. That's the way it is. But it's not over yet. It's September 10th. Today's September 11th. Come the end of September, how many more big stories will have filled in that amount of time? We'll have a VP debate on October 1st. How much do you think that this debate really is going to set the tone, the outcome of the actual election results?
We need another debate, and I know Donald Trump hasn't committed to a second debate. He was on Fox and Friends this morning, and, he was, again, rightfully talking about ABC and the way they moderated that. I mean, I talked about it last night right afterwards. It was an ambush. It was a 3-on-1. We all know this. It was unfair. We should have known that going in, to be quite frank. But we have to be honest. You can't always blame the referee when you're throwing air balls. So Donald Trump, maybe he should reel that back a little bit. Like, he's got to accept things for what they are. It's never going to be fair to a conservative, and we should just accept it. But he needs to debate again, and he needs to debate again in a much more disciplined fashion. I hope that he accepts another debate, because we need to see that from him. If he doesn't, people are going to think, and they're going to go off of Kamala Harris's performance. They're going to think that she can perform well under pressure. So we need a second debate with Trump on his A game, and then let's see how she performs when the rehearsed lines run out. I really hope we get a second.
Yeah, Tommy, I think that the format that I personally would like to see the most is like a town hall type of a debate where there are people with questions involved, and it's always a matter of who's managing it. Donald Trump, to his credit, has said anywhere, anytime, your rules, let's go. Kamala Harris has said yes to 2 things, and she had Tim Walz with one and the ABC moderators on her side on the other. But to be able to get more people involved, I think, would be better. I just don't. Who do you trust? Obviously, Fox News, but who's a medium type of person who both sides could agree on in this country that could legitimately moderate something that would be beneficial to the American people? Does that person exist?
Well, I think that there's something to be said about, something that's done maybe with popular podcast hosts on both sides. Maybe you could do some kind of a collaboration there. But I will say this, it's not just because I work there. But I've always been incredibly impressed with Bret Baier and Martha McCallum. I think that they do a fantastic job. I think that they hold both sides to account. Yes, they might be more on the conservative side. We understand that. But my God, we've done a debate on CNN and we've done a debate on ABC News.
Yep.
Maybe at one point there are still millions and millions of Americans. We are the number one cable news network in the world.
The majority of Americans, yeah, exactly.
It is fair. It is fair that we have one on Fox News. And I know people, Fox News is more conservative. Sure it is, but we've already given you 2 on liberal networks.
Yeah.
So we should meet the American people where they are. The American people are viewing and they are watching Fox News, and it's not just conservative. So I'm pushing for a Fox News debate. I think Martha McCallum and Bret Baier would do a fantastic job. Again, I was disappointed on Fox and Friends this morning to hear Donald Trump say that he didn't want to do a debate with Bret Baier and Martha McCallum. I think that was a huge error on his part, and I hope he reconsiders.
I don't always live in 4D chess world, but I almost think he said that to try to get Kamala Harris to be like, we'll do it on Fox, but Bret and Martha have to be the moderators, to which he wins. In that instance, he would win. Tomi, we appreciate you always. We love watching your Tomi Lahren is Fearless Outkick. Check out the podcast, and we hope you come back soon.
Well, it's great to talk to you guys. And to the Trump supporters out there, I would just say make sure that your friends are registered to vote. Make sure that they plan to vote, because this is going to be razor thin and no one can sit home.
Yeah, amen to that we have to take action. No sitting idly by and just complaining about the refs. Exactly. Tomi, we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.
God bless you all.
Yep, you as well. Fox News commentator and podcast host Tomi Lahren is Fearless on Outkick.com. You can follow her on X at Tomi, that's Tomi with an I, Tomi Lahren. Go check her out. I think she's right about that. I was going to mention that fact. Do we have a clip of him talking about them? I don't know if we have so much sound today from yesterday's debate and a lot of reaction to it. When Donald Trump, do we have it? Okay. When Donald Trump was on Fox and Friends this morning, he made a comment about Bret Baier and Martha McCallum and not wanting them to be the moderators. And it was kind of bizarre, but at the same, because he said it to Fox on, like, this is a guy who's not afraid to talk to anyone. But if he's saying, of course, Kamala Harris and her camp is going to think that Fox News is not friendly territory, in the exact same way that Donald Trump knows that CNN and ABC is not friendly territory. I will remind you what Will Sharf said on in studio earlier this week. Donald Trump is currently suing ABC for defamation in a lawsuit that they feel very good about potentially winning. He goes into the enemy territory. It's an away game for Donald Trump. If Kamala Harris feels like it would be a home game for Donald Trump on Fox News, that's where the American people are. That's where they're watching. Honestly, the worst thing that could happen to Kamala Harris, should she come on Fox News, is that she'd get treated the way that Donald Trump's been treated in this ABC debate, not in the CNN one, to CNN's credit. Jake Tapper and Dana Bash did a good job. They asked questions regardless of how they felt about Donald Trump's answers. They didn't cut him off and correct him. It is amazing. It's amazing that Donald Trump was corrected and interrupted and pressed on as many things as he was, and Kamala Harris wasn't a single time. I think the American people see that. I think people who are tuning in, who are not predisposed to loving Kamala Harris, they want to like Kamala Harris. This is the thing. There are people who know that they don't like Donald Trump. They also know at the same time that the facts of the matter is that they were doing better under Donald Trump. They know that. That's a hard thing to reconcile. What is best for me goes against my emotional reaction to the sights and the sounds of Donald Trump. I want to like Kamala Harris. I want her to win. I want to vote for her. I want to support her. And then you watch her, and she does a lot of things to put people off. I don't think that she did anything last night. It was so clear that she was trying to get Donald Trump's goat. She was trying very, very hard to get under his skin. She did not talk about the policies that she talked about was housing and giving people money. She didn't say how she was going to do it. She didn't say how she was going to implement this stuff. Somebody said, how is she going to pay on Twitter? They tweeted at me, how is she going to pay for all this stuff? And my response wanted to be probably the same way that you are, but maybe in a different tax bracket. It's coming out of your pocket. Every single penny comes out of your pocket or your child's pocket or their children's pocket. It all has to be paid for. We can't just make debt disappear. It's not workable. It's not possible. She hasn't sold ideas to people. She's trying to sell feelings to people. It may be enough. And to what Tomi was saying there, I really hope that Donald Trump gets in the game and understands that while it's super frustrating that they're running a vibes campaign, I hate that phrase so much, a feelings campaign, that they're trying to make you feel a certain sort of hatred when you see him and a certain sort of affection when you see her. You don't have to agree to completely do that yourself. You can still talk policy, but you can't pretend that it doesn't exist. And if you play right into her hand, you make the job easy for her. And there was a little bit of that last night. I don't think it's as bleak as people are feeling today. I think next week you'll be like, meh, whatever. I think Donald Trump could have done better. I don't have any problem saying that. I also think that he's still by far the best choice for president for our country. And if you watch and wait, trust me on this, in 2 weeks, we'll be like, oh, you remember the debate? Because a million things will happen between now and then. All right, let's take a quick break. I'm excited about our next guests here. We're going to have Dan Abegg in the studio. He is the president of the Edwardsville Rotary Club. And this is a local thing. We don't always do this, but I was tipped off to this opportunity, and I thought, you know what? This relates exactly to you folks who are in Madison County, Illinois. Because the Edwardsville Rotary Club, a very generous organization, is celebrating, get this, its 100th anniversary. And in this 100th anniversary, they are doing something really big that you can be a part of. So stick around. We're going to have Dan come in here and talk about the 100th anniversary and this really, really big donation that they're preparing to make. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show.
Have you forgotten?
WindowWorldSTLewis.com. That's WindowWorldSTLewis.com. Window World products are not just durable. They offer security, beauty, energy efficiency in replacement for your drafty, dingy old windows. It's, okay, of course the thermal efficiency and all that stuff, that matters. It obviously matters. That's why you're making the investment. They're also going to be really pretty on your new house. It's going to make your house look new. On the old house that you've bought, maybe you have noticed that the windows need to be replaced. You can really transform the look of your home with these beautiful windows from Window World. And right now, they haven't done this before, but they're excited to be talking to you about up to 36 months. Same as cash financing with approved credit. When you reach out to Window World at 314-993-1800, that's 314-993-1800, mention the Annie Fry Show, and you're going to be entered to drawing to win 4 St. Louis Blues tickets for the upcoming season from Window World, and get the process started, the free estimate to find out what you're looking for. And with that 36 months, same as cash financing that you can qualify for, you're going to be able to afford it. 314-993-1800, WindowWorldSTLewis.com.
Need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care with help preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly after every shift. It's all funded by Medicaid and 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 5,000 5-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. This service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers are paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for New Perspective Senior Living in Weldon Spring. This brand new facility offers state-of-the-art independent or assisted living and memory care. New Perspective Weldon Spring is redefining senior living. Visit npseniorliving.com to schedule a tour today.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our Timeshare Exit Information Kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444.
Ugh, I've been feeling so sluggish and just kind of blah. Been there. That's why I take Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites. But I suppose they taste blah. Actually, they taste delicious. It's an apple blueberry flavored center covered in a yogurt coating and is infused with probiotics to help support a healthy gut. They come 5 in a pouch. I just toss one in my bag and go.
Toss one in my bag?
Ha, get your own.
New Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites from the makers of the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Find them in the digestive care aisle.
Did you know that Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief for nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea? Of course you do, because everyone knows the Pepto song. But did you know that Pepto also comes in convenient and delightful solid forms?
Pepto has berry fast melts, cherry chewables, liquid caps that make relief easy.
Pepto makes relief on the go easy. So when you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Before you sell your home, consider your options. Mark Cox here, and for years now I've been telling you about St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria is an expert in selling homes for the most money because she has the guarantees, the buyers, and different solutions for every type of seller. She recently provided a family multiple cash offers in minutes so they could move quickly with no showings, no costly repairs, and no hassles. Now, not everyone's looking for multiple cash offers. That's why Gloria will sell your home at your agreed upon price or she'll buy it. Her name says it all, Your Home Sold Guaranteed. Regardless of whether you're looking for multiple cash offers or you want to utilize her Guaranteed Sold program to ensure you get the most money possible. Here's your next step. Call Gloria at 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
If you need someone you can trust for your eye care, go see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Kim St. Ange here. Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry are experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. 314-966-5000 or yourEyeDoc.com.
Today is September 11th. Do you do anything to commemorate or something intentional to remember this day? That is the subject of the YouTube live chat poll of the day. Type in Annie Fry on YouTube. You will see that poll come up. You will also see the live stream where you can watch this and anything else we do on a given day. Yes or no to that poll? Let us know. 148. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is happening now. Tune in to the Annie Fry Show live stream. Vote and be a part of the conversation by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube. Subscribe and leave a comment. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I don't know how long it gets into this song, but the best line is where it says one might grow up and go to prison, one might be president. It's
yeah, that's this song.
That's this song. We'll get to it. We'll get to that later. Thank you for listening today. We've had a full show so far. If you were listening at the beginning of the show, we talked a little bit about September 11th. And as Ryan just mentioned, that's the poll for today. So we want to make sure we commemorate this day with the appropriate amount of respect. And we've talked about the debate quite a bit today. We'll get to more of that in the 2 o'clock hour. But something that is just bright and good and positive injected into this day. We are happy to welcome the Edwardsville Rotary Club president into the studio. Dan Abeg is in studio with us. Dan, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me, Annie.
It's good to have you in here. And Doug Rohr, who is my friend. He goes to church with me. He's a member of the Edwardsville Rotary Club. Right. Good to have you here.
Annie.
Yeah, good to see you here outside of church. You guys are doing something really, really huge for your Edwardsville Rotary Club 100th anniversary. So I want to talk about that in a second. But first, Dan, tell me a little bit about the Edwardsville Rotary Club. 100 years that's a well-established group.
It's a great thing, and I'm just lucky to be president this year in the 100th year. Rotary International is a worldwide organization with over 1.2 million members. The Edwardsville Rotary Club is one of those clubs, has been around for 100 years. We have about 100 members, has done really wonderful things for the community of Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, and the Madison County area in general. Service above self is our motto, so we live by that. We have fundraisers, and we donate and have donated a lot of money over the years. Since 2002, we've actually donated $1.1 million to local organizations and through scholarships and building things. We built the Airplane Park Playground in Edwardsville.
Have used.
Yes.
I love that. That's
everybody has.
Yes, it's a great playground. Molly loves that playground. $1.1 million is amazing. You do several fundraisers. I guess annually, the Edwardsville Criterium bike race is a huge one. It's like continued to grow year after year.
It has become really good, and we have great members. It takes a lot of volunteer hours for that. Brian Mulhall is our person who heads that up currently. But that raises about $46,000 the last couple of years for us to go toward our projects, and all of our money goes toward organizations and projects. We don't have any paid staff or anything like that as the club, so we have none of that. But so those go to it. We also have a golf tournament, and then we do sell citrus in December, which has gone back around 25 years as a tradition for the club, and that's always kind of a fun thing for the community to get involved in. But as times go on, you need to adjust your fundraisers, and there's a lot of organizations out there in need and a lot of hands out, and always going to the same pockets. So we try to diversify, which kind of gets me to this point of this year. So it's our 100th anniversary. We decided let's do something a little different. We always give money. We gave $46,000 in donations just last year alone. So we thought let's do something special for the 100th. So we come up with we're going to donate $100,000, and to do that we're going to do 10 $10,000 grants, and they will be eligible to any nonprofit, community organization, a business that might have a community project they're working on within a Madison County.
That's great.
So that's, even though we're an Edwardsville club, we're encouraging participation from all over the county. Like I said, we've given a bunch of money. Edwardsville is fortunate. They have a lot of organizations and a lot of generous people, but we know there's a lot of needs in and around the Madison County area that we would really like to get applications and hear from those organizations as well.
Ryan, we talk a lot about politics, obviously, on this show, but this is just a community helping people in the community, completely apolitical. And this is what it's really all about. To be able to apply, like anybody listening right now who's in Madison County, who has that nonprofit organization, can go to edwardsvillerotary.page and you can register to win this $10,000, I guess, is it a grant or a donation to help you with your cause. Like just being able to see people in the community. This is happening everywhere, and we wanted to highlight this because this 100th anniversary opportunity is a big one. It's just very positive and refreshing to see.
I don't know about you, but I feel like the government wastes money sometimes. And when you get private organizations like this, I'm sure you guys are going to look at who's most worthy of these things. It's not just, oh, well, here you go. You're going to look at who's going to make a difference, who's going to handle this with the most integrity. And that's exactly why we love talking to organizations like you guys, because we know that you're doing the vetting. We know that you're doing the right things to make sure that the people in need, the needs in our area are met the best. That's the best way to do it, the way you're doing it.
And that's what we really try to do. So the committee, we have a Centennial committee that I put together that will be reviewing all these applications that come in. They will then vote on them and make recommendations, and then also the board of directors will vote on which ones, and then membership as a whole will get a vote.
That's great.
So this isn't just one or two people picking out their favorite organization or somebody they've got from a golf league or something like that. They will really get looked at. Every application will get looked at. And what I encourage people to do is really encourage what the money goes to and what it serves, because this is kind of a personal bias, but what I really like to see is something that is helping people do something as opposed to just going into general operating budgets or just covering overhead for salaries. A project.
Yeah.
We really like to see it go towards something like that. We have funded a lot of things. We will also we'll consider international projects as well, because as Rotary, we do international projects. We've put wells in Zambia. We have schools. We've done.
Man, you talk about money that goes somewhere.
Yeah.
That accomplishes a lot.
Yeah. The most interesting one I think we did, and we provided solar light kits for Ethiopia, and what it was for midwives. They're delivering babies out in the middle of the desert, the jungle, and there's no electricity, and they were basically doing it by cell phone lights, and these were provided lights that they could actually give birth and have light. It was
that's great.
Just interesting things,
Yeah.
and we donated several thousand of that to buy several of the kits for them. So
Dan, we're speaking with the president of the Edwardsville Rotary Club, and I want to remind you all to go to edwardsvillerotary.page to learn more about this, to get access to be one of the 10 winners of these $10,000 donations. Qualifications, what framework do you have to fit in order to win this?
you have to be a charitable organization. You can be a 501c3, obviously, but if you're a organization that's just a grassroots organization that
or a church
provides something, church
that has a cause that could do that,
churches, schools, anything that we feel is a worthy cause. It doesn't have to be a 501c3, and I encourage some grassroots organizations that may not feel they're as organized.
That's the kind of the question.
Are put together or have, because some of these 501c3s, I mean, they're professional fundraisers and they've got it together. I really encourage these grassroots that volunteer groups get together and they see a need.
You got a heart and you got a need, and you need some funds.
Yeah, one of the ones we've done recently, organization is Sleep in Heavenly Peace.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a nationwide organization, but they're local organizations. We build beds. It's bunk beds. You're built for children in Madison County that sleep on the floor, and we deliver those beds after the build. It's an amazing experience. You don't imagine what's out there that you just don't see in your own life.
Well, Dan,
and so it makes you appreciate it.
EdwardsvilleRotary.page. We'll keep talking about it. Thank you both for being in here. Doug, always good to see you. Dan, so great to have you in here, and thank you for doing what you are doing. This is what it's all about, folks. And, just a plug from me. Support your Rotary clubs, because this is how they are able to help those in need. Madison County, you're up. EdwardsvilleRotary.page. We'll be right back.
Attention, Missouri residents in need of care at home. If you have Medicaid and need assistance with daily activities, you can receive free in-home care from a loved one. Funded by Medicaid with no cost to you, Freedom Care, Missouri's #1 home care provider, gives you the power to choose who provides your care, and they get paid instantly. Imagine your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. Freedom Care has over 5,000 five-star Google reviews and is #1 in Missouri for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's 100% free to you, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-3027. That's 314-557-3027. 314-557-3027.
Just imagine being walked all over for 36 years. Who would do that? The great customers of Reinhold Flooring, that's who. For over 3.5 decades, Reinhold Flooring has been the mecca for carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and area rugs. Reinhold Flooring is customer-driven with a focus on top-quality products and installations from the best team in the business. So come on in and walk all over your next flooring at Reinhold Flooring. Visit them at 5429 Telegraph Road in St. Louis or online at reinholdflooring.com.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people. And much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Del's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2024. Save 60%. Code 2024. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Unity in remembrance. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Just hours after their first debate, former President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris sharing another handshake at New York's Ground Zero at the start of several annual ceremonies marking 23 years since the 9/11 attacks.
Family members, survivors, first responders, and dignitaries gathered in Lower Manhattan today to make good on the promise to never forget the terror attacks of September 11th, 2001. Moments of silence were held, and the names of the 2,977 people who were killed on 9/11 were read aloud.
My father, William Ralph Robb. Dad, we only got 6 years together, but I have nothing but the happiest memories. And every day I remember how lucky and how proud I am to be your daughter.
This evening, the tribute and light will honor those lost with twin beams aimed skyward near Ground Zero. In Lower Manhattan, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Events also held at the Pentagon and in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where a fourth hijacked plane was brought down in a field after passengers fought back. Trump is visiting a fire station in Shanksville after laying a wreath near the memorial. The president and vice president holding a separate wreath-laying ceremony there. Conditions deteriorating in southeastern Louisiana and east of the Florida Panhandle as Hurricane Francine approaches the Gulf Coast.
Storm surge is already inundating coastal Louisiana and will get worse as Francine gets closer to a landfall, possibly later today. And that means time to get to safety is running out.
If you live in one of the storm surge evacuation zones, you've been asked to leave, please, hopefully you've already done so, but you have a little more time if you can to get out and get to a safe place.
National Hurricane Center Director Michael Brennan. President Biden is already declaring a federal emergency.
Fox's Eben Brown. A California man arrested on arson charges, accused of starting a wildfire that's forced thousands to evacuate east of L.A. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
We continue to go through our hottest day of the week. Now, it's nothing extreme, but 92 will do it for the high with some hazy, sunny skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, upper 80s this evening, 66 for the low. On Thursday, a mix of clouds and sunshine, though more and more clouds taking over 84. Then tropical showers and possible thunderstorms Thursday night and throughout the day on Friday. 74 on Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Stewart's American Mortgage knows that everyone's got their eyes on rates. And if mortgage rates are going to keep coming down, it's going to kind of shake up the whole industry. He's got a commitment for you. It's the Fed's Fund Special, and it's only good through this week. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. The Fed's Fund Special is his commitment to you to give you that lower rate that he anticipates to see in the middle of this month early before they come down. He's going to honor that with you right now. If you qualify for the bagel loan, you're going to get that lower rate. You're going to get to lock it in. And then if the Fed doesn't lower rates and the mortgage rates don't come down, you get locked in. That's a pretty good deal. 314-324-4440. Call him or text him. Say, Annie said something about a lower locked-in rate or something like that, and he will explain in detail, as much detail as you want, exactly how it works. And remember, when you use the bagel loan, no closing costs. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. With Ramp, you get full visibility into your company's spending and control who spends what with each vendor. Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts instantly to save your team valuable time. Ramp automates data entry and routine tasks with automated approvals, expense categorization and bill payments, time-consuming tasks. Which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. Get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200 and always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door, the most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. 314-781-5200.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Dell Technologies and Intel are pushing what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
12 amazing children, one special evening. The Night of Rock Stars is September 27th, giving special needs kids a celebrity treatment they'll never forget. Join us for this month's Conservatives Care, The Night of Rock Stars, by visiting 971talk.com/events.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. It is September 11th. You probably have gathered that already. We have spent some time today reflecting upon that, and I started the show with my thoughts on today, 23 years after we experienced, I would say probably 98% of the people listening right now were alive during that time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Most of the rest of them are in
Because
school.
you'd have to be under 23.
Well, I don't know. There could be some younger folks. Ethan, come here.
He's
Is he
right at
23?
it.
His birthday is tomorrow. So I wonder if he was. I don't know what year he was born in. We're going to talk a little bit about that throughout the course of the rest of this show, and I'm sure Mark Reardon will do his due diligence there as well. But I had my words on it at the beginning of the show. Please check out the Annie Fry Show podcast. Go on the Odyssey app, and you can check out the podcast there. Ryan, you said you had a story you've never told before.
Yeah, we've told our "Where Were You When" stories, I think, a couple years in a row. And I was in college. I had an aviation major, just if you haven't heard mine. And he immediately came back home and said, "I can't fly. They shut down all the planes in the country." I'm like, what? So that's how I found out.
You had an aviation major what?
As a roommate. Did I not say roommate? I think I may have missed the word.
I'm like, is he making a joke?
I had an aviation major as a roommate in college.
Important.
There we go.
Missed detail.
And now you know. But I was thinking this morning, and Brad.
It's like, they throw me for a loop. You were thinking about going into aviation.
I was, but I dabble in all kinds of stuff.
So you're wondering how I got here.
They said, you are not good at this. You should go into communications.
Nope.
I was working at another radio station in 2010, or I think it was 11, because I think it was the 10-year anniversary. And it's weird because whenever I think of 9/11, I don't think about where I was. There's little things that you remember from that day, and the feeling, the emotions. We've talked about that. One of the things that I always remember on this day, though, is a testimony from a guy. He was an Indian American. I think he had grown up in India, that I got to interview in 2011. And he was in the second tower when the plane hit. He was not, obviously he survived because I was talking to him, but he was below where it hit. And so he was able to move down the stairs. He said he'd never been more afraid in his life. And his testimony has always stuck with me, because one of the things he said was, probably about a year before that, he had become a Christian. And he said in that moment, he had never been more afraid, because he's like, I'm going to die. Everybody's panicking, running down these stairs. And he had a moment that he was in the tower. And he said, I felt like the Holy Spirit, the Lord, spoke to me in that moment and said, it's okay if you die here, you go to heaven. And that phrase has never left me, and I think about him saying that every single year on September 11th, because what he did after that is amazing. It was as if all that fear that he said he experienced just went away. And all of a sudden, he was leading everybody out of the building. And in the process, they'd get somewhere, they'd have to stop. There's lots of people that it's not just that there's debris that you're having to overcome. There are lots and lots of people all trying to do the same thing as you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And he said that they'd have to stop, they'd have to wait, they'd have to figure out what their next move was, because shoot, if we couldn't go down here, now we got to go across the building, we got to go over there. And he was kind of leading this. Well, they'd have to pause. And at any moment, he knows we could all die. We all know it. We know that we are maybe living our last moments. And he said he led every single one of those people he was with to Christ, and eventually led every single one of those people out the door.
That's crazy.
And I've looked for this guy for years, because I wanted to talk to him again, because his testimony was so, we're talking about 14 years later, 13 years later. It's still, every year I remember that. And I want to talk to him again. And nobody I know, even when I was working in the media, remembers his name. And I don't know that I've ever told that story, because it's not my testimony, it's his testimony. But it is so profound, that phrase that he said changed everything in that moment. If you die here, you go to heaven. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wonder how many of those different anecdotes there are. And you can almost make yourself crazy putting yourself in the shoes of the people who were there. And, I saw The Falling Man today on Twitter.
Yeah.
And it's a picture. It's a moment in time, which is what a photo is. It's a picture, but Like, that guy, you presume, made a choice, and that was his choice. And it's just, I don't know what the appropriate, I don't know, really, I'm not certain on what the appropriate way to reflect is, because, yes, you should remember. But, people talk about never forget, remember 9/11. There's a lot of people who are of adult age who don't have the capability of remembering because they were teeny tiny or not born yet. So we're that far away from this thing that it's an important part of, as I was saying before, oral history. We have to tell the stories. If you just research it online, I mean, if you start Googling things, I get lost.
Yeah.
And, I've got questions. So when you think about it, we remember what happened after 9/11 as well. We know where we went. We know people who went there. We know people who lost their lives. We know people who lost their minds. We know people who lost any sense of, like, a human innocence. Like, if the people who came back were forever changed by it, they've been, I wasn't here during Vietnam, but there is some sort of connection between the people who have come back from Operation Iraqi Freedom and what we have done in that theater since September 11th, who do wonder what they did it for. And then you see the way politics yanks people back and forth. And you see, this isn't really a political statement other than how you choose to handle it. But Joe Biden just said, on this day, we're leaving. Done. Like a thief in the night. Gone. 13 more individuals died in that process. And it's just considered a win. A political win. One to brag about. And I do believe that there are people who gave everything in those years who came back and saw that exit and thought, like, what are we doing? What did we do? And my heart breaks for those people and my country at the same time, but for different reasons. Brad, you and we're all three pretty much the same age here.
Yeah, I was 18. I had just graduated high school. And as a matter of fact, my mom was working overnight, so I was taking my brother and sister to school. I was in the drive-thru of a McDonald's. And I heard on the radio that a plane had hit the two towers, and I didn't really have a lot of information. They said they didn't know if it was a big plane or a small plane. And so in my mind, I had pictured just like the small, like Cessna type plane had ran into the towers. And I drove home and I turned the TV on. And as I was driving home, more information was coming out that it wasn't a small plane. I got home just in time to see the second plane hit the tower. And this morning, whenever I was cutting and pulling audio, I realized something. That the feelings that I have, the emotions that I have, which is really weird to me because I'm not an emotional person. I'm pretty stoic. They're still raw. It still hurts. It's still painful. It still makes me sad. And it still makes me angry. But I pulled that clip of George W. Bush, I can hear you, and soon the people that knock these buildings down will hear all of us. That still invokes the same emotion in me today, 23 years later, that it did the day that I first heard it. The anger and the sadness because these guys are standing on a pile of rubble that was, a building, and in that rubble was what was left of thousands of people that had nothing to do with the reason that those terrorists flew those planes into those towers. Had nothing to do with it. And they lost their lives. And so I had that sadness there, but I also had that hope and that feeling of resolve that came whenever everybody erupted in that cheer and that roar and that chant of USA, USA. And it's like, yeah, that's right. I remember driving home after work and people somebody's like, oh, we should all turn our headlights on. The unity. And there were people driving home with their headlights on and and just all sorts of things where, like you said in the very first segment of the show, there wasn't red and there wasn't blue. There was red, white, and blue. And it's just, I long for that again. And I miss that. And I want that for our country. And I don't know. I know and I believe that we can get back to that. I just don't know what the path forward is or the way to get there is.
I don't know that we can get back to that. Not without great cost.
Yeah, you mentioned that there are those of us, you were what, barely an adult, not quite a kid, right?
Oldest you can be as a child and youngest you can be as an adult. I was 17.
A lot of kids remember that as a kid. I had a moment this morning. I went to a doctor for the first time. Got kind of a bulky elbow. I'm trying to get it fixed. First time visiting this doctor. She goes, okay, today is, oh, look, it's 9/11. I said, yeah, it is 9/11. She goes, I was in kindergarten. The doctor. I'm like, we're really close to being to that generation that doesn't remember this
Our
anymore.
Pearl Harbor generation.
Yeah.
I mean, my grandpa fought, he was an officer in the Army in World War II. He can tell the Pearl Harbor stories the way you and I can tell the 9/11 stories. There aren't that many people who can tell both.
Right.
Any longer, not with a real, mature experience. I mean, you got people who are in their 80s could certainly still. Well, let's see. It would have been 1941. So you'd be if you were 80, you were born at that time. Is that right? Am I doing my math right? 60, 20? Yeah. I mean, you'd have to be in your in your 90s to be able
to recount
to be able to have your own story.
Yeah.
Like we have our own 9/11 stories.
Yeah.
9/11, we were old enough to understand the gravity of the situation. This is where I say, the oldest you can be as a kid, the youngest you can be as an adult. What's the thing that really shatters the innocence of being a child? It's when you realize that your parents don't control anything. like what your parents have always made good for you. Those are the very, very small things. And the big things, what your parents can do is make you feel better about them. But they have no control. You cannot fix things. You can't fix the big things. You can't come in and make something that has that much gravity to it, not have that much gravity to it. And then the next thought is the fear that I'm feeling that your parents have always taken away from you. They are feeling the exact same fear. It's equal. You can't stop it. You can't control it. You can't make it go away because you don't know what's going to happen next. And whatever is going to happen next, you have zero power over controlling. And that's when you go, I'm like, this is what it's like to be an adult. So you prepare for information, you prepare for events, you prepare for whatever is coming, but you're only preparing to brace for impact. You can't
you don't know what you're preparing
make
for.
the thing do the thing you want. And as there's this other time where you come from being a child and you realize how incredibly human your parents are, and then you become a parent. And then you again realize how incredibly human you are because you want to do all of those things for your kids. When perfect example, if there's weather, if there is a tornado warning and you're like, go in the basement, it'll be fine. We'll turn on the TV, we'll play a game, whatever. And that tornado warning is in your area and you're telling the kids there's nothing going to happen. You don't know that, but you can prepare for it. You can put yourself in a position where you're 99% going to be fine because you've taken action.
You don't know for sure.
But you're hoping and praying.
But the kids are sure.
But the kids go, okay.
Because you said it's going to be fine.
You know what it's like to look at your significant other across the room when you're in the basement and you look at each other and you don't say anything and you just think, this is scary. And you don't show your kids. And then one day your kids look at your parents and you go, your kids are saying this is scary. And then they see in their parents' eyes that they're scared too. And that is the other side of your childhood.
Yeah, at some point you realize, and this is an adult moment, oh, nobody knows anything.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's winging it.
Let's take a quick break. Some of your reflections on the YouTube poll for today. Do you do something intentional to remember September 11th? Be curious if you do. Let us know in the YouTube chat your thoughts on that, and you can vote in the YouTube live chat poll. We'll be right back.
Sleep in peace at night when we lay
This
down
is the
our
Annie
head.
Fry Show.
My daddy served in
Follow
the
Annie on
army.
Twitter
We
at
lost
Annie
his
Fry
right
Show.
eye, but he flew a flag out in our yard till the day that he died. He wanted my mother, my brother, my sister, and me to grow up and live happy in the land of the free. Now this nation that I love is falling under attack. A mighty sucker punch came flying in from somewhere in the back. Soon as we could see clearly through our big black eye, man, we lit up your world like the 4th of July. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking her fist, and the eagle will fly, and it's gonna be here when you hear Mother Freedom start ringing her bell, and it'll feel like the whole wide world is raining down on you. Brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue.
The Retirement Advisory Group is inviting you to the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It is Tuesday, October 1st. I hope you're going to be there. I will be there. 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. It's a really great event because, first of all, it's free. It starts at 6:30. I'm going to be there at 6 to 6:30 trying to shake as many of your hands as I can. I love getting the opportunity to meet you. Mark Cox and Mark Reardon will be there as well. And at 6:30, you've got the folks from the Retirement Advisory Group taking over. Bob and Tammy Kershaw and Thomas Helbig. They are going to talk to you about how you can protect your retirement when you're in your late 50s, early 60s, and it's time to make that move and prepare. They are there to help you make that transition. It costs you nothing. It's at the Frontenac Hilton, and it starts at 6:30 p.m. Get there early because I'd love to meet you. Frontenac Hilton, Tuesday, October 1st. You can schedule your spot at 314-993-9494, online at retirementkey.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
It's not just about watching the game, it's about betting on it. I'm Mike Valeni, and on Cash the Ticket, Jim Costa and I break down every college football and NFL matchup like it's the last game we're ever going to watch. From the best bets to the sneaky underdogs, and of course, as my co-host likes to say, the value. And the one thing we're not going to do is pretend we're professionals. We have fun with it, it's an entertainment product, and it makes watching games a hell of a lot of fun. So Cash the Ticket, follow it in the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been hurt on the job, you need the best. Onder Law. Hurt on the job? Call Onder Law today for a free review at 314 or 618-900000.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. I depend on them for eye care, and they have an announcement. They're pleased to welcome Dr. Samuel Berry to their practice. Dr. Berry is a cornea surgeon, and he has the latest knowledge and techniques for advanced eye care and treatment in the field. So what do we call them now? The doctors? No, just the best doctors to see for your best vision. In St. Louis, you can reach them at 314-966-5000. They've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any others in the practice. Now, if you need help with dry eye, LASIK surgery, maybe you have glaucoma, macular degeneration. I had an eye disease when I was just 25 years old, so my eyes are very important to me. You get the absolute best care with the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Bersati, Andy Royer, and now Dr. Samuel Berry. 314-966-5000 or visit youridoc.com. They have a great location just off Manchester Road, a half-mile west of 270. Ophthalmology Associates.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
On-time news. On your time. Download the Odyssey app and dip in whenever you want. And stay on top of what's happening. 97.1 FM Talk on the Odyssey app.
Is this just an illusion?
This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
20 years can never get me by. And I feel you close. Feel you close like you wanted me to. Feel you close like you wanted me to. Believe in you.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Reflecting today on September 11th, we've also talked a bit about the debate. Do you guys have anything else you want to say about the debate? I'm like, last night we kind of I think we all agreed that it wasn't the greatest night for anybody. Kamala Harris exceeded low expectations.
That's the only reason that she would be declared a winner, is that the bar was just low.
She didn't say much anything, but she didn't have a Biden moment at all.
Yeah.
But I just feel like where we are today, it's kind of a bummer from a news reporting angle because I wish that we had something.
Yeah, it's like you're going to be objective. Like you could kind of make it big if you wanted to. But I think all of us went, there's not really much that's going to happen from that. So why make it something big?
I've listened to people reacting today. I've sampled. And I can tell by the right-leaning entities that I've listened to that Trump clearly didn't win last night. Because the people on our side are melting down in some cases. And I'm just like, guys, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
It's not that consequential. The results of last night are not so consequential that, like the Trump Biden debate, that something's going to change. They were literally standing next to each other at the September 11th memorial in New York City today, with Joe Biden in the middle. He looked very confused. And J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Bloomberg, they're all standing there. They're all there together.
Schumer. Yeah.
I mean, this is a long haul. And Kamala Harris did not come out with a policy last night that changes the game. And Donald Trump did more Donald Trump stuff. Like, it was an affirmation, in my opinion, of who they both are. Donald Trump is Donald Trump. Kamala Harris is who we thought she is. Pretty shallow, but a presented candidate. And ABC sucked. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like, if we were going to write how this was going to go ahead of time, that was the most likely outcome, which is why it's disappointing, because you wanted to be surprised.
I feel like we were saying this is the most likely outcome even before the debate. And then it was that, and you go, okay. And then we go on and we go about the next day.
I'm just telling you, listening right now, take heart. It's fine. Don't spend your day today wringing your hands over last night. Don't.
I'm a little surprised that there are people that are wringing their hands. I didn't see that last night.
They're the people. There are the people who are doing that are the people who are very emotionally invested into what's going on, and they need the political hit of positive in order to get them through the day. And that's what I'm telling you. You don't have to do that. If you're compelled to do that, if your emotions are tugging on your heartstrings and you don't want to deal with another Trump loss. I don't either. I can remember the just kind of abyss that November and December of 2020 was after the election. It felt hopeless. And I remember thinking to myself, it's only 4 years, and then we do this all over again. And then I would think it's a whole 4 years. And I would just kind of go in this cycle. And then I just decided, I think that was the year we just decided to start playing Animal Crossing. and I like,
that was 2020 also.
Yeah, it was like we had caved and gotten a Nintendo Switch right before then. So we had, and I just started spending more time with my family and watching movies and not saturating myself in the ups and the downs.
That's good because, as you know, this last 4 years has been fine. Nothing's gotten worse. So your fears were unfounded.
Is this part of your plan?
A little bit.
It's a bad plan.
No, there is one more thing I want to say. I mentioned my wife talking about the debate earlier in the show. The other thing that she said was I didn't really connect with her as a person. Just watching her debate, she didn't really do anything for me. And Donald Trump, you've seen him a million times. So I said, well, what did you think? Like, did somebody win? Did somebody lose? She said, her answer to that question was, and again, this is my wife who's rather apolitical, but did watch the debate because she teaches communications and a debate elective sometimes, so she was watching it technically. She said, I don't get what Kamala's economic plan is.
Mm-hmm.
And I said,
neither does she.
I said, do tell.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, it's like and again, she doesn't listen. She's not watching the news. She's not hearing the things that we're talking about on a regular basis. She said, it's like she's saying nothing.
It's not like that.
And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And she said,
is that.
Well, it's like she said a name and she couldn't remember the opportunity economy or whatever that phrase is that
She
Kamala's
says
using.
things like, in the terms of the work we're doing, the significance of. She has all of these transitionary phrases that she repeats on regular. And I think I listen to these things because as somebody who speaks for a living, gosh, I'm putting myself out there. I'm certain that there are things that I do regularly that drive you as a listener up the wall. And it is my goal to stop doing those things. I'm trying really hard not to, but I'm sure I'm still doing things that I don't even realize I'm doing. Those types of phrases are crutches for people who speak and don't have substance behind what they're trying to say. People will say like. People will say They are filling time because they're not willing to just let there be a pause for effect.
Great job.
Thank
You're welcome.
I
was getting uncomfortable. I had to fill the time.
I'm really super annoyed that while you were talking before, we got another subscriber.
People are subscribing because of the tone of my voice.
Because of the sound of my voice.
It is reassuring. People
All
find
right.
themselves
All
drawn
right.
to it.
Get the music up.
What do you mean, get the music up?
Do a positive review for a Wednesday. And give people who might be feeling a little bummed after yesterday's debate from music from last Friday.
What are you talking about?
The music from last Friday, where we did positive endorsements.
Oh, okay.
And
Give me a
you're
second.
talking about how great your voice is and how encouraging it is.
Man, I gotta find it. Okay.
Ryan was bragging about being able to get us to 8,800 subscribers today, which is only 22 subscribers. He's bragging about it off air. He hasn't said anything about it on air. We have as a show added 6 subscribers on YouTube since the show started, and he thinks that they're all coming for Ryan. So if your voice is so great and your ability to improv is so fantastic, then maybe you should just give the people some joy today.
Okay.
On this, can I stop talking now?
I think so.
I'm walking you through this.
Okay, I think I found the song. Let me see if this is the right one.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't do it.
No, Brad, turn it up.
No.
Brad, come on. Now, this
Don't.
is the song. I got to do my bit.
It's on, Ryan. You're not playing it.
Oh,
Your
you're
computer
right.
is
Hang
muted.
on. Hang on.
That's a shame.
You know whose fault it is, Kim St. Ange.
Nobody was here. They were at Chickenelli's this morning.
Oh, it is not.
Well, it's playing, so I'm not sure what's
you
wrong.
were probably the last ones to use it.
There it is. There it is. Yeah. I'll tell you the truth. I cannot find that song that we've had from last Friday.
I want you to give a positive endorsement for a Wednesday, a beautiful Wednesday in St. Louis.
It's a beautiful Wednesday in
And
St.
see
Louis.
see if it motivates people to come subscribe to the Annie Fry Show.
You still live in the greatest country in the world if you're on the political right. If you're on the left, you hate where we're at and you want to change everything. But here's a great endorsement.
If Ethan were running the board, he'd have buzzed that.
If you believe in America and you typically have a conservative
You've added one subscriber.
worldview, you can tune into the Annie Fry Show and hear good news pretty often. Now, we'll call balls and strikes.
Sometimes.
Some of the things we're talking about, we're like, you know what? There's a path for America, and we're sometimes not on that path. We need to get back on the path. So if you subscribe to the Annie Fry Show
On YouTube. Oh, no, we just added 2 more.
And see?
This is baloney.
The other thing that you'll get is the sound of sweet, serenaded voices, like the one that I'm using right now.
You didn't use that voice at all during that thing. That was the
Well, I was getting all worked up. Now I'm not.
No.
Now I'm trying to bring people down because they got a little, the blood pressure got high there while I was talking. Let's calm it down, guys. And listen to this. Sometimes, depending on how my voice is doing, I can't do that.
Oh,
Today I
gosh.
can, so I'm using it.
Just added 3 more. I'm not even lying.
Darn right. Hey, you know what? Before the end of the show, which is at 3 o'clock,
I need 15.
15 people, we can cross a milestone. Look, it's happening.
I know. That's awful.
It's happening.
This is
great.
This is conflicting for me.
Oh, my gosh.
Do it before we get out of this segment.
No.
That'd be amazing.
Gotta go to break.
Hey, do it before we get out of this segment.
Say in a world
In a world
where we need 88.
where we need 12 subscribers.
We'll be right back.
To the tallest of the towers that fall and rise.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
11 subscribers.
Don't you hold back. I can see in your mind will set you free.
9.
Michael's Flooring Outlet. You find them online at igotfloored.com. Shopping for flooring is made simple when you put yourself in the hands of people who understand that business. There's a lot of places you can buy flooring, and they sell a lot of things. And I'm not here to say that you're going to get a bad experience. Sometimes it's the luck of the draw. But when you go to Michael's Flooring Outlet, you are guaranteed to get a great experience. They are going to make sure that you are a satisfied customer with great quality products. So what you're investing your hard-earned dollar in, you're going to get a great product back. You're going to get a great installation back as well. Go to Michael's Flooring Outlet and see the different products that they have on their website at igotfloored.com. You can check out the Techwood Select and Plus lines of flooring. You can see waterproof wood flooring that is going to give you the finish that you want, but the protection that you need in your home. They have 3 locations, one in St. Charles County, one in West County. They also have one in Darting Prairie. If you're shopping for flooring, shop at Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloored.com.
Resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town & Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-699-1059. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-699-1059. That's 800-699-1059.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle. Unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
During renewal by Anderson's BOGO Bonanza, buy one, get one 50% off all windows, patio doors, and entry doors when you buy 4 or more. And pay nothing for 18 months. Call by September 30th, 314-720-9200.
Today is September 11th. Do you do something intentional to remember this day, to commemorate it? Let us know, yes or no, in the YouTube live chat poll, and we'd like to know what you do if you answer yes to this question. 2:47, this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. Clearly, we were going to talk about the debate last night, but it's 9/11, and I watched a story today that I had never seen, and I'm going to share it this afternoon. I've watched it twice because I pulled the audio. I've cried both times. I think Sue's going to have to help me through this, but we'll get to it. It's all coming up after Fox News.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. It is September 11th. Doesn't feel right to say happy September 11th, but we definitely acknowledge this day and remember this day. It's our YouTube poll for today. Do you do something intentional to remember September 11th? We've talked about it here. So, I mean, talking about it is something intentional. If you feel like that makes the situation commemorative for you. So we appreciate you tuning in with us today. At the end of the YouTube broadcast, so normally, you always listen to us here on the radio, 97.1 FM Talk, or you might stream us on the Odyssey app. At the end of the show, when you're done listening to us where you're listening to us, go over to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, or you can pull it up right now. I am going to stream on the YouTube channel, on the same stream that is up right now. I'm going to continue that stream, but I'm going to play the 10-minute video of my visit to the 9/11 Memorial in New York City, and you can see that. And it's like a walkthrough of that memorial experience, a lot of video, and you can see the things that are there. It's 10 minutes long or so, and it's a really good reflection for me to be able to go back there and experience through the camera lens that memorial. Have you been to it? Have you ever walked through the 9/11 Memorial?
I have not.
Brad, have you?
No, I haven't.
I hadn't until 2019, and it's a ton of bricks moment. It's almost something that I don't know that I would do it again if I went with family or somebody who hadn't gone before, but it's so much that having experienced the memorial and having that experience, I've had it. It's like to go through it again. I guess if you got a different tour guide, because we did the paid tour, which is like an audio, wear the headset type of thing. If you got a different tour guide, I guess it would be different. So maybe in that regard, it would be worth the second time around. But it's a lot. You got to prepare yourself for it.
I realized today, I think right before the show started, that I'm not sure my own kids really know what 9/11 is. They're 10, 10, and 7.
They don't learn about it in school?
Well, they might. I just haven't sat down and talked with them about it, and I really need to do that. I was thinking today, I want to go home. I'm not going home tonight. I'll be out of town for a couple days, but I want to sit down with them, and I want to show them the video. I want to talk with them about what that day was.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I've done that, and I'm going to be interested to see how much they do know, because maybe they've read about it. Maybe they've heard.
But your anecdotes are important to their understanding of it.
And my wife's too, because I don't actually know what her day of story is.
You don't?
No, I don't. We were both in college, so I know where she was. She was at Mizzou, but I don't know what her day was like.
Yep, you have to have those talks. You have to have those conversations. That's how the story comes together. I was able to go to the Pentagon Memorial, as I was talking about being in D.C., and then also in that July 4th trip I took with my husband to Washington, D.C. We flew from St. Louis to Pittsburgh, watched the Cardinals play the Pirates, and then rented a car and drove to D.C. because we wanted to stop in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, in order to experience that memorial. So I've actually been to all three memorials right now, and boy, they're all three so different. They're all three such different experiences. And of course, not everything, but most of the focus tends to be in New York City. But the story of Flight 93 is just an amazing story of American patriots that also, I've never seen the movie, and I don't have the stomach for it. I have not put myself in a position yet to endure that. I don't know what that says about me, but I haven't been able to do that yet. The debate was last night. We've talked quite a bit about that. Tomi Lahren was on with us at 1:25. Deroy Murdock on with us at 1:05. So check the Annie Fry Show podcast for that. Is that up yet? How quickly do you put that stuff up?
It depends on the day. I think today I have the first hour up right now.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones I'll have up pretty soon.
So you go to the Odyssey app. You can listen to that as soon as Ryan gets it done.
Yeah, I'm working on it right now instead of doing this show.
Yeah, he's got things to do. You want to wrap up your ways to be a better man?
I mean, if you insist, sure, I'll lead this.
I just thought maybe we could use the extra focus.
Yeah. A few of them we talked about in the 12 o'clock hour. Never shake a hand sitting down. Never insult the cooking when you're the guest. Seems like something that you don't do even if you're not a man.
Doesn't it like really stand out when you meet somebody who does abide by common courtesy, etiquette, like that's still paying attention to all those things? It's kind of exceptional.
It does stand out. If somebody dresses, not like they're dressing up, but if somebody dresses nice, no matter what they do, it does stand out. Another one was never eat the last piece of something you didn't buy. I took that to heart. Take the blame and give credit when due.
Yeah.
We talked about that one. How about this one? If you are not invited, don't ask to go.
Have you ever done that?
No, I have never done that.
No, wait, that's not true.
I've done it to you.
You literally did it to me.
Right when I started on this show.
Yeah, it was like day 2.
Because I started
It wasn't like he was just like, there wasn't like a work event or something like that. It'd be really funny if we're not talking about the same thing.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah, time. No, I think it's the same thing.
He was like, we'd really like to go trick-or-treating with your family. Is that what you're talking about?
Is that how it happened? I know that you were like, we'll see. And I was like, all right, we're coming.
You said to me on the air that you had something you wanted to ask me.
Is that how it happened?
My recollection is that you said that going out of a break, and you teased that there was something important you wanted to ask me, and it meant a lot to you. And then you asked me on the air if you could go trick-or-treating with us.
Can I get down on one knee and ask you to go trick-or-treating?
And if you would have done that, I would have just said no.
Why did I make such a big deal out of it?
You said on the air it's because you thought I couldn't tell you no.
Yeah, I'm right. I was right.
Did you go trick-or-treating with us?
Yes.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, we did.
That saw itself through.
So, number 8, if you are not invited, don't ask to go. Unspoken rules for men. How about this one? Listen, nod, and most of all, make eye contact. The thing about eye contact is, if you're somebody who's not naturally doing it and you decide, I'm going to do that more, you make it weird. Because most people don't stare into each other's eyes while talking for more than a second or two.
The problem is if you have two eye contactors
that really hold it.
There needs to be an alpha and a beta.
Like somebody's trying to be dominant.
Yeah.
It's a little weird, but
I'm going to need you to try that around the office.
I'll try it right now if you want to.
No. Around the office implies not with me.
I'll do it to our boss.
Yeah, do that.
Okay.
Do that, Steve's.
You know what else I'll do? I'll listen and nod the whole time too, and stare.
Yeah, the more of the whites of your eyes we can see, the better.
I don't know why I'm also acting like I'm talking.
I'm pretty sure that you can hear the look on his face right now. You got one more?
One more. Ask more than you answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's listening.
That is what that is. This is a longer way of saying listen.
Is that what it says?
Ask more than you answer. Yeah.
Spot on. Well, if you need any more tips and tricks on how to be a better man, you just let me know, Ryan.
I will.
I'm always happy to help.
Thank you.
The YouTube live chat poll. Do you do something intentional to remember September 11th? Do you, Ryan?
No.
Brad?
Yeah, I like to go to the gym and do the stair machine for the number of steps, the flights that the firefighters did.
Holly.
No, I've never heard that before.
Holly said, I read The Only Plane in the Sky, an oral history of 9/11 every year. And let's see, Janine says, yes, I'm mentally taken back to that day and spend time reflecting on the events. I also pray for those who lost loved ones or still suffering health problems and for our country. We appreciate everybody who commented here. And I do. I will tune in the specials that are probably on the History Channel today and listen to those anecdotes. We have 243 votes, and it just now changed to 51%, 49% no.
Wow.
Split right down the middle. The Mark Reardon Show up next, and the Annie Fry 9/11 memorial video on the YouTube continues.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care. And that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with
We are in New York City still. This is our last day, and we are headed towards the airport in a few hours, but there's one thing that we had to do before we left New York City. Now we're going to go check out the 9/11 memorial.